Chapter 958. Ning Qing finally understood why there were so few pill sages and why Tao pills were so difficult to refine. Under such weak laws, as long as one's understanding of the laws was insufficient, they would definitely not be able to refine it. Similarly, no matter how strong one's understanding of the laws was, if there was a slight difference in the fusion of the divine herb's origin medicinal properties and the laws, the refinement would fail. Even if you have a thorough understanding of the laws, have a deep understanding of the medicinal properties of the divine herbs, and can even fuse them with ease. But your spiritual consciousness is not good enough, so you still can't refine a Tao pill. When he said that his divine sense was not good, it did not mean that his divine sense was too weak. Instead, it was the control of one's own spiritual sense. That is, one's spiritual sense must be powerful, and one must be able to control one's spiritual sense to the pinnacle. Only by combining all of these can you possibly refine a Tao pill. The reason why he said it was possible was because every Tao fruit had different laws of heaven and earth, and every Tao pill had different medicinal properties. Maybe you can refine one type of Tao pill, but you can't refine another. Grasping the medicinal essence of the divine spirit grass, controlling the nomological aura within the Tao fruit, and using one's divine senses, Ning Qing understood what was going on the moment the Tao fruit laws shattered. At this moment, his entire body merged into the furnace of falling scar Tao pills. On the side, Qing Ho Tian looked at Ning Qing's focused look and sighed before shaking his head. He had already felt that the falling scar fruit's laws had dissipated, which meant that this batch of medicinal pills had failed. Even if Ning Qing didn't admit defeat and focused on alchemy, he couldn't refine this batch of falling scar Tao pills. Although he knew that Ning Qing had failed, he still did not disturb Ning Qing's concentration. Sure enough, after half an incense stick worth of time, a burnt smell spread out. Ning Qing's primal chaos first furnace started to emit blue smoke, and the burnt smell of divine grasses started to spread out. Ning Qing had clearly failed to refine a batch of Tao pills, but he was still immersed in it and had yet to wake up. If this batch of Tao pills was Ning Qing's first batch of pills, Qing Ho Tian would have already exploded. After seeing Ning Qing refine a few batches of medicinal pills, even if this batch of Tao sculpting Tao pills failed, Qing Ho Tian still didn't act up. Instead, he quietly waited. When Ning Qing controlled his spiritual consciousness to fuse with the medicinal pills in the pill furnace, his sea of consciousness started to change. In the beginning, he still needed to control the movement of his divine sense. Later on, as long as he expressed his thoughts, his divine sense could completely move according to his thoughts. It was as if his spiritual consciousness had turned into a world of its own to do what he wanted to do. Such a result allowed him to focus more of his energy elsewhere, and at the same time, the result of his divine sense control was also more perfect. After the pill in the pill furnace turned into flying ash, Ning Qing's sea of consciousness issued a slight "catcha" sound. Ning Qing felt ecstatic in his heart. Although he did not manage to refine this batch of Tao pills, it unexpectedly allowed his sea of consciousness to advance once again. His sea of consciousness became invisible and could no longer be captured by ordinary cultivators. Ning Qing's sea of consciousness took another step forward, causing Qing Ho Tian to feel surprised. He could clearly feel that Ning Qing's strength had increased once again. This made him even more surprised. He had never seen a holy emperor who advanced to the next realm while practicing alchemy. However, Ning Qing still did not wake up. His sea of consciousness and his thoughts perfectly played out the process of completing the Tao core in Ning Qing's imagination. At the end of this deduction process, Ning Qing's body shook once again, and his entire body turned as if shrouded in smoke. Qing Ho Tian couldn't take it anymore and stood up for the second time. When Ning Qing's cultivation rose by a level, it had already shocked him. He didn't expect that Ning Qing would advance again. This time, it wasn't in terms of cultivation, but in terms of alchemy. As a Tao transformation pill sage, Qing Ho Tian naturally knew that Ning Qing had an epiphany in the Tao of alchemy. After this epiphany, Ning Cheng's understanding of the Tao of alchemy would definitely take another step forward. The faint mist shrouding Ning Cheng's body was surrounded by a vast Tao of alchemy at this moment, like a morning bell and evening drum. Qing Hotian's eyes lit up. How deep did one's understanding of the Tao of alchemy have to be to have such a profound and rich Tao of alchemy surrounding it? No matter how deep Ning Cheng's understanding was, Qing Hotian couldn't care about anything else. He immediately sat down beside Ning Cheng and tried to understand the Tao of alchemy that Ning Cheng had comprehended. An incense stick's worth of time quickly passed, and the Tao of alchemy around Ning Cheng slowly dissipated. The mist of Tao of alchemy also dissipated completely. Ning Cheng opened his eyes, which were filled with joy. Qing Hotian also opened his eyes in time. The surprise in his eyes was even more exaggerated than Ning Cheng's. He vaguely grasped the shadow of a second-step pill sage. One had to know that even though he had been a Tao transformation pill sage for hundreds of thousands of years, he was still a first-step pill sage. Senior. Ning Cheng cupped his fists towards Qing Hotian in embarrassment. He had failed a batch of medicinal pills, so he was afraid that Qing Hotian wouldn't refine a second batch for him. If Qing Hotian really didn't refine a second batch for him, then he would have failed today's test. Qing Hotian quickly jumped up and waved his hands. Don't call me senior. Brother Ning Cheng, if you look up to me, Qing Hotian, then we are brothers. You can call me Brother Qing from now on. Even if you call me Hotian, I will feel comfortable. I want to thank you. If it weren't for your epiphany in the Tao of alchemy and the spread of the Tao of alchemy, I don't know how many years it would have taken me to grasp that little bit. Qing Hotian looked excited. At his level, if he wanted to advance again, he couldn't rely on heavenly treasures or external objects. He had to rely on his own understanding of the Tao of alchemy. Moreover, his aptitude in the Tao of alchemy had almost reached its peak. Ning Cheng's epiphany had given him a huge boost, giving him a chance to become a second-step pill sage. While Ning Cheng was comprehending the Tao of alchemy, he knew that Qing Hotian was also comprehending his epiphany. He didn't care about it. He had the mysterious yellow origin and cultivated the mysterious yellow formless. This kind of epiphany was a regular occurrence. He didn't mind if Qing Hotian followed him and basked in the limelight. Now that Qing Hotian appreciated it, Ning Cheng naturally wouldn't act pretentious. He quickly said, "Many thanks, Brother Hotian." Good, good. Qing Hotian rubbed his hands in excitement. Before Ning Cheng started his epiphany in the Tao of alchemy, he felt sure that Ning Cheng's future achievements would far surpass his own. Originally, he wanted to wait for Ning Cheng to finish the assessment and build a friendship with him. Unexpectedly, before he could even start building a friendship, Ning Cheng once again showed a terrifying aptitude that far surpassed that of a monstrous genius. Making friends with such a person, even if he helped him now, the benefits he would gain in the future would far exceed his current help. Ning Cheng, on seeing that Qing Hotian didn't mention anything about continuing the assessment, took the initiative to mention it. "Brother Hotian, I want to continue the Tao sculpting pill sage assessment. I wonder if I can refine another furnace of falling mark Tao pills." Qing Hotian waved his hand. "According to the rules, you still have a chance to refine another furnace. Of the 3 furnaces of medicinal pills, you only need to refine 2 furnaces." After saying that, Qing Hotian felt that he couldn't show his help to Ning Cheng, so he whispered to Ning Cheng, "Brother Ning, you can refine as much as you want. If you fail, I will give you a few more furnaces. If I don't say anything about it, no one will know about it." After saying that, Qing Hotian waved his hand and threw out 2 furnaces of falling mark Tao pills materials. Obviously, Qing Hotian also knew that refining the same type of Tao pill would have a higher success rate with each refinement. Ning Cheng chuckled. He knew that even if Qing Hotian didn't say anything, the Pill Association would know about it. There were a bunch of monitoring array formations around, and they weren't just decorations. The reason why Cheng Ho Tian said that was because he didn't want Ning Cheng to feel a psychological burden. However, Ning Cheng didn't think that he would fail again. After gaining enlightenment on the Tao of alchemy and advancing his sea of consciousness, if he failed to refine a Tao pill again, he would be too embarrassed to refine a third furnace. This time, Ning Cheng didn't carefully separate the medicinal pills and then carefully extract the origin essence of the divine grasses. Just like when he refined the spirit pills before, his movements also sped up. Cheng Ho Tian saw that Ning Cheng's movements were much faster than before. He even suspected that Ning Cheng's furnace of falling mark Tao pills was the first furnace of Tao pills he refined in his life. However, he quickly dispelled this thought. Ning Cheng's furnace of falling mark Tao pills definitely wasn't the first furnace of Tao pills. Because Ning Cheng's movements once again regained the calmness and smoothness he had when refining the spirit pills. He still couldn't see Ning Cheng's pill techniques clearly, but he could feel a pleasant feeling from Ning Cheng's technique. After half an incense stick worth of time, the dregs were thrown out. After an incense stick worth of time, the pill charm lingered above the pill furnace. Half an hour later, the pill charm began to condense, and one could even feel the endless laws of heaven and earth within the pill furnace. Immediately after, bursts of pill fragrance began to spread out. Just when Cheng Ho Tian was still in shock at Ning Cheng's alchemy methods, Ning Cheng's hand moved, leaving behind a series of afterimages. Then, the sound of medicinal pills falling into the jade bottles rang out. Cheng Ho Tian felt excited. Ning Cheng's furnace of Tao pills was a success. Although he didn't dare to release his spiritual consciousness for fear of affecting Ning Cheng's alchemy, he could feel that this furnace of Tao pills was of high quality. "Brother Ho Tian, please take a look." Ning Cheng smiled and put the jade bottle containing the 12 falling mark Tao pills in Cheng Ho Tian's hand. Cheng Ho Tian couldn't wait to open the jade bottle. A moment later, he said, "Sure enough, 12 top-quality Tao pills. I'm afraid that even I would find it difficult to refine them." Ning Cheng also felt very satisfied. After his epiphany on the Tao of alchemy, refining pills had become much easier and more enjoyable than before. While Cheng Ho Tian looked at the medicinal pills, Ning Cheng had already started refining the second furnace of falling mark Tao pills. Half an hour later, Ning Cheng easily refined another furnace of top-quality falling mark Tao pills. Cheng Ho Tian took out 2 more furnaces of Tao pill materials and placed them in front of Ning Cheng. He sighed, "It won't be long before your Tao of alchemy surpasses mine. Maybe now, your Tao of alchemy surpasses mine." This time, he took out the materials for the purple heart condensing pill. The main Tao fruit of the purple heart condensing pill was the heavenly jade Tao fruit. This Tao pill was used when the Tao heart of a holy emperor below the Tao birth realm collapsed. It could be used to condense the Tao heart again. It was a Tao birth Tao pill. The collapse of the Tao heart was not a rare thing for holy emperors. During cultivation, Tao condensation, or when facing an enemy, if the Tao heart was disturbed, it could cause the collapse of the Tao heart. The purple heart condensing pill was the best Tao pill for the collapse of the Tao heart. The only limitation was that it could only be used for holy emperors below the Tao birth realm. Chapter 959. Compared to the falling scar Tao pill, the main Tao fruit in the purple heart condensing pill, the heavenly jade Tao fruit, had more mysterious and complex laws, and the degree of condensation was even more fragile than the falling scar Tao fruit. Although Ning Cheng had an epiphany on the Tao of alchemy, when he refined the first furnace of purple heart condensing pill, he also scattered some of the heavenly jade Tao fruit's laws. In the end, he only refined 5 purple heart condensing pills, and these 5 purple heart condensing pills were only middle-grade and low-grade medicinal pills. Ning Cheng rarely refined low-grade medicinal pills, but this time, because of the collapse of the Tao fruit's laws, he managed to refine low-grade medicinal pills. Cheng Ho Tian was very straightforward. When Ning Cheng refined the second furnace of purple heart condensing pill, he did not hesitate to take out the materials for another furnace of purple heart condensing pill. When he saw Ning Cheng refining the second furnace of purple heart condensing pill extremely smoothly, he started to have doubts in his heart. It seemed that every time Ning Cheng advanced a level, he would always stumble when refining the first furnace of pills. But as long as Ning Cheng refined the first furnace, the subsequent refinements would be extremely smooth. Was this really Ning Cheng's first time refining a Dao pill? And he only needed to learn it once? This time, Cheng Ho Tian did not ask. When Ning Cheng finished refining the third furnace of purple heart condensing pill, he directly took out the materials for 3 furnaces of purple heaven pill. This was the Dao transformation pill that Ning Cheng wanted to refine at the beginning of the assessment. The main Dao fruit of the purple heaven pill was the purple heaven Dao fruit. It was a Dao transformation pill that could help one comprehend the Dao, and its value was unparalleled. For a Dao nourishment holy emperor, obtaining a purple heaven pill was a dream come true. While Ning Cheng refined the purple heaven pill, Cheng Ho Tian stared at Ning Cheng's movements without blinking. He even used his spiritual consciousness to carefully check the outside of Ning Cheng's pill furnace. Sure enough, as he expected, Ning Cheng once again failed in the first furnace of medicinal pills and only refined 3 low-grade purple heaven pills, which was basically no different from a failure. But for the second and third furnace of purple heaven pills, Ning Cheng not only succeeded, but they were at least high-grade or special-grade medicinal pills. Cheng Ho Tian picked up the purple heaven pill refined by Ning Cheng and looked at it for nearly half an incense stick worth of time before speaking with emotion. "Brother Ning Cheng, your level of alchemy, even I can't reach it. I still have to thank Brother Ho Tian for your support. If it were someone else, I might not even be able to pass the Dao sculpting pill sage assessment." Ning Cheng thanked him. Cheng Ho Tian also thought about it. If he forced Ning Cheng to refine the second furnace of falling scar Dao pill, it would be useless for Ning Cheng to sue him. "Brother Ning, I have a question that I really want to ask you. Have you ever refined a Dao pill before? Why is it that every time you try to refine a higher level Dao pill, your first batch of pills always stumbles?" Cheng Ho Tian finally couldn't help but ask the question in his heart. Ning Cheng's face showed embarrassment. "I can't get my hands on Dao fruits, so I came here to refine Dao pills. It's my first time here." Ning Cheng realized that he had taken the Dao transformation pill sage assessment today. He had previously thought that refining Dao pills was similar to refining spirit pills. Since he could refine Dao transformation divine pills, he could also refine Dao transformation Dao pills. After he smashed the first furnace of falling scar Dao pill, he knew that his thoughts were absurd. In other words, if his sea of consciousness had not advanced, he would not have comprehended the pill Dao. Even if he were to take the Dao sculpting pill saint test today, it would still be somewhat difficult. Even if he passed the assessment, he would still have failed the Dao nourishment pill test. With his current understanding of the pill Dao, studying the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill wouldn't be as difficult as before. With pill sage Min Kong's experience, Ning Cheng felt sure that it would only take him a few hours to study the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill. Cheng Ho Tian stared at Ning Cheng with his mouth wide open. Ning Cheng's words scared him. He was a Dao transformation pill sage and a primordial Dao realm expert. He had seen many things, but he had never seen an alchemist as heaven-defying as Ning Cheng. Although he had doubts every time Ning Cheng failed to refine the first batch of pills, it was still a doubt. He even found his doubts funny. But now that Ning Cheng admitted it, he couldn't believe it. "Brother Ho Tian, can you help me apply for a Dao transformation pill sage qualification card?" Ning Cheng reminded Cheng Ho Tian when he saw him in shock. Cheng Ho Tian let out a long sigh and said, "The universe is vast, but I can't think of any real geniuses. It's my, Cheng Ho Tian's, luck to know a monstrous genius like you. Brother Ning, I'll help you apply for the Pill Association's identity card." In less than half an incense stick's worth of time, 6 cards were placed in front of Ning Cheng. From light blue to dark blue, there were a total of 3. The other 3 were white, silver, and pale gold. Brother Ho Tian, why did you give me 6? I just need a Dao Transformation Pill Sage qualification card, Ning Qing said as he looked at the 6 Pill Association identity cards lined up in a row. Qing Ho Tian chuckled, you participated in the assessment 6 times, so these 6 qualification tokens are naturally all yours. The light blue card is for Dao Sculpting Pill Deity, the blue card is for Dao Birth Pill Deity, and the dark blue card is for Dao Transformation Pill Sage. The white card is for Dao Sculpting Pill Sage, the silver card is for Dao Birth Pill Sage, and the pale gold card is for Dao Transformation Pill Sage. As for these medicinal pills, you can keep all the 3 furnaces of spirit pills. This is what I agreed to. As for those Dao pills, you can take half. This is the Pill Association's rule. After hearing Qing Hotian's words, Ning Qing didn't refuse. He took half of the Dao pills and all the spirit pills. He guessed that if he took the 3 furnaces of spirit pills, Qing Hotian might have to compensate the Pill Association. However, this was agreed in advance. If he didn't take it, given Qing Hotian's character, he might say that he looked down on him. Besides, he could easily take out the materials for the 3 furnaces of spirit pills. Qing Hotian obviously didn't feel any pressure. Seeing Ning Qing put away the 6 qualification cards and medicinal pills, Qing Hotian felt very satisfied. He handed the pill essence to Ning Qing and said, Brother Ning, you passed the assessment. The Pill Association can't accept this. Ning Qing saw the reluctance in Qing Hotian's eyes. He took the pill essence and smiled. He put it in Qing Hotian's hand and said, Brother Hotian, I'll take this pill essence back. I'll give it to you now. Qing Hotian didn't refuse. He took the pill essence and laughed, many thanks, Brother Ning. I just happened to be lacking this thing. He understood why Ning Qing didn't say anything when he took the 3 furnaces of spirit pills. It turned out that Ning Qing had been waiting for him to give him the pill essence. This brother was really refreshing. Not only did he have heaven-defying abilities, but he was also very forthright. Brother Hotian, I want to ask you a question. Ning Qing waited for Qing Hotian to put away the pill essence before speaking. Qing Hotian raised his hand and patted Ning Qing on the shoulder, we're already friends. Brother Ning, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. As long as this elder brother can do it, I will definitely help you solve it. Ning Qing nodded and said, I have a junior apprentice sister. She didn't pay attention to her cultivation and ended up damaging her foundation. Later, she was cleansed by the 9 revolutions sacred Dao pond and was preparing for the spirit transfer. By chance, she should have been saved by someone and even restored her foundation. However, because of me, her foundation wasn't stable after it was restored. Instead, she got injured again. Ning Qing told Qing Hotian about Yan Ji's matter. After he finished, Qing Hotian immediately became furious. Those women from the 9 revolutions sacred Dao pond are too much. Brother Ning, this elder brother will definitely help you get back at them. Thank you, Brother Hotian. I will get back at them myself in the future. What I'm worried about now is my junior apprentice sister's injury. I wonder if Brother Hotian has any solution. Qing Hotian was an old monster who had lived for countless years. Regardless of his attainments in the Tao of alchemy, Qing Hotian had much more experience than him. Because of this, Ning Qing wanted to ask Qing Hotian about it. Qing Hotian nodded, okay, when you go to the 9 revolutions sacred Dao pond, remember to call me. Your junior apprentice sister's injury is indeed serious, but it's not like there's no way. When Ning Qing heard this, he grabbed Qing Hotian's shoulder in joy, Brother Hotian, do you really have a way to save my junior apprentice sister? Qing Hotian said with a solemn expression, there's a way to save her, but it won't be easy. First of all, you have to wake up your junior apprentice sister as soon as possible. There are many ways to wake her up, but the best way is to use the 5 elements heavenly fruit. The 5 elements heavenly fruit is very difficult to find nowadays, but the Grand God Pill sect has a 5 elements heavenly fruit tree. Don't worry, I can help you get the 5 elements heavenly fruit from the Grand God Pill sect. Qing Hotian's method was the same as the Sword Tri-Mountains. Ning Qing quickly said, Brother Hotian, I'll go trade with them for the 5 elements heavenly fruit. Just tell me what to do next. Ning Qing believed that he could use the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill's pill recipe to exchange for the 5 elements heavenly fruit. Since he could exchange for it, why bother Qing Hotian? Qing Hotian didn't have such a Dao fruit. If he wanted to get it, he would have to come up with something to trade. Okay, those guys are very stingy. If you can't get it, just let me know. Qing Hotian didn't object and continued, after your junior apprentice sister wakes up, give her the True Extreme Spirit Restoration Pill. True Extreme Spirit Restoration Pill. Ning Qing repeated the words. He had never heard of such a pill. Qing Hotian said with a solemn voice, yes, it's the True Extreme Spirit Restoration Pill. This pill is very special. Although it's only a Dao sculpting grade Dao pill, its value far exceeds that of ordinary Dao transformation Dao pills. It's because the 3 main ingredients of this Dao pill are too heaven-defying. These 3 main ingredients are the true extreme Dao fruit, the beautiful star hidden gold leaf, and a drop of pill essence. Apart from the pill essence, Ning Qing had never heard of the other 2 spiritual objects. Qing Hotian took out the pill essence that Ning Qing gave him and said, I'll return this pill essence to you. Saving your junior apprentice sister is more important. As for the other 2 main spiritual objects, I can find a way to get the true extreme Dao fruit. But that beautiful star hidden gold leaf is really hard to find. The beautiful star hidden gold leaf is a divine grass that contains the laws of heaven and earth. Its value is equivalent to a Dao fruit. Ning Qing pushed the pill essence back to Qing Hotian, Brother Hotian, I still have the pill essence. Can you tell me where to get the true extreme Dao fruit? Also, where is the main source of the beautiful star hidden gold leaf? You should know Heaven Essence Sacred City's City Master Lu Jiesheng. Every time the Alchemy Discussion Conference is held, he holds a City Masters Banquet. He invites all the sect masters and powerhouses, as well as the alchemy experts participating in the Alchemy Discussion Conference, to attend. The reason why he can invite these powerhouses, as well as many alchemy experts, is because he has a source of Dao fruits. And the true extreme Dao fruit is one of the Dao fruits he can take out. Qing Hotian replied. Ning Qing quickly asked, then how can I get the true extreme Dao fruit from him? Chapter 960. You don't have to worry about that. With your alchemy skills, it won't be difficult for you to get the true extreme Dao fruit from Lu Jiesheng, Qing Hotian said with a chuckle. Without waiting for Ning Qing to ask for the reason, he explained in detail, every pill discussion assembly, powerhouses from all sides would come to the Heaven Essence Sacred City to accept Lu Jiesheng's invitation. They had also accepted this invitation for the Dao fruit. Because Lu Jiesheng has a fantasy fruit garden, there are countless Dao fruits inside, and the true extreme Dao fruit is one of them. That's why I said you don't have to worry about the true extreme Dao fruit. Ning Qing felt even more puzzled and asked, Brother Hotian, Dao fruits are so precious. Moreover, the Heaven Essence Sacred City's City Master Mansion has a fantasy fruit garden. Can he keep it? The Grand Essence domain had as many experts as the clouds in the sky. No matter how strong Lu Jiesheng was, he was just one person. Even the Elixir Association would not let go of the Illusion Garden, let alone the other sections. Qing Hotian chuckled. Don't underestimate Lu Jiesheng. He is a peak primordial Dao expert and is only one step away from the primordial Dao realm. Moreover, the fantasy fruit garden was the same in anyone's hands. Because even if it's in your hands, you can't enter it. It's not like what you think, where you can pluck Dao fruits whenever and wherever you want. Ning Qing even heard about Lu Jiesheng inviting many powerhouses and alchemy masters to participate in the City Masters Banquet from Sword Tri-Mountain. Naturally, he was not clear about these matters. The fantasy fruit garden is not something that can be opened by force. To open the fantasy fruit garden, one must be a Tao sculpting pill deity or above alchemy Tao powerhouse. The fantasy fruit garden is divided into many levels of divine herb gardens, and the gates of these herb gardens must be opened with freshly refined pills. Open the spiritual medicine garden with the refined pills. This was the first time that Ning Cheng had heard of such a thing. Cheng Ho Tian nodded. The first level of the medicine garden is filled with Tao sculpting level God spirit herbs. There are only 12 doors at this level, and each door has 12 pill grooves. Only an alchemist who can refine 12 special grade Tao sculpting divine pills within a specific period of time and embed all of these pills in the groove of the door can open this door. After the door opens, can everyone go in? Ning Cheng asked. Of course not. Only the alchemist who has refined the pill can enter. It is impossible for a second person to enter. After the Tao modeling spirit medicine garden, there was the Tao birth spirit medicine garden, which was a higher level. If you want to go in, you have to concoct Tao birth divine pills. Similarly, you need special grade divine pills to open the door, Cheng Ho Tian explained. Ning Cheng finally understood why Sword 3 Mountain did not tell him about this. It should be because Sword 3 Mountain knew that the two of them would not have a chance, as such even if he told them about it, it would be useless. A Tao transformation alchemy deity might not necessarily be able to refine a cauldron full of special class Tao sculpting divine pills, let alone within a specific period of time. Cheng Ho Tian continued, I heard that this illusion garden has a total of 6 levels of entrance doors. The first level has 12 doors, the second level has 9 doors, the third level has 6 doors, the fourth level has 3 doors, the fifth level has 2 doors, and the sixth level should have 1 door. Ning Cheng immediately grasped the meaning of Cheng Ho Tian's words, Brother Ho Tian, what do you mean by the sixth level should be a door? Cheng Ho Tian sighed and said, the sixth level's door should contain Tao transformation Tao fruits. Since the illusion garden opened to this day, no one has been able to enter the sixth level's door. 1 door means that only one person can enter. The premise is that this person can refine 12 special class medicinal pills to open the door in the first furnace. In the Grand Essence realm, no one can casually refine a batch of special class Tao transformation Tao pills. Doesn't that mean that only 12 people can enter the first level of the spiritual medicine garden? Ning Cheng couldn't help but think about the many pill gods who came to the Heaven Essence sacred city. In his heart, he couldn't help but wonder about the distribution plan. Whoever could refine it first would enter first, right? Hearing Ning Cheng's worries, Cheng Ho Tian smiled and said, Brother Ning, you can rest assured. These 12 doors are more than enough. It's not easy to find 12 pill deities who can refine 12 special class Tao sculpting divine pills in the first furnace in the Grand Essence realm. Brother Ning, you have a good chance of entering the 5th level of the spiritual medicine garden. If you really enter, then even I would benefit from it. You should understand why those powerhouses and sect masters accepted the city lord's invitation, right? Not only does it give Lujiesheng face, but it also allows for the exchange of rare divine grasses after the medicinal herb hunt in the illusion garden ends. If you can find high-grade Tao fruits, the harvest this time would definitely exceed your imagination. Ning Cheng understood what Cheng Ho Tian meant. The 5th level of the spiritual medicine garden was the Tao birth Tao fruit garden. He had refined 12 Tao sculpting divine pills before, all of which were special class medicinal pills. Even the Tao birth Tao pills and Tao transformation Tao pills contain some special class Tao pills. After explaining all this to Ning Cheng, Cheng Ho Tian smiled and said, the illusion garden's entry restrictions made everyone acquiesce to the city lord's mansion's protection. With your alchemy Tao level, you will definitely have a big harvest this time. If you can enter the 4th level of the Tao sculpting divine Tao fruit garden, you might be able to find the beautiful star gold hidden leaf. Ning Cheng felt overjoyed. As long as there weren't any special accidents, he had absolute confidence in entering the 4th level. However, he found it strange that there were only 6 levels in the illusion garden. It seemed that the Tao Transformation Divine Fruit Garden was the highest level. He didn't ask Qing Ho Tian about it. He was just a first-step Tao confirming Holy Emperor. It would be impossible for him to refine second-step Tao pills. It would be meaningless to ask. Many thanks, Brother Ho Tian, for telling me this. I'll leave first. I'll see you in the City Lord's mansion the day after tomorrow. Ning Qing got up and said his goodbyes. He believed that Qing Ho Tian would definitely go to the City Lord's mansion. Okay, see you the day after tomorrow. Qing Ho Tian laughed and raised his hand. A pale golden staircase suddenly appeared in front of Ning Qing. Ning Qing walked out of the staircase and saw the female cultivator still waiting for him. Senior, you came out. The female cultivator saw Ning Qing come out and quickly bowed to greet him. In fact, she had never brought anyone to participate in the Pill Sage assessment. Ning Qing didn't even have a Tao Sculpting Pill Deity qualification card. Therefore, he wasn't qualified to take the Pill Sage assessment. The reason why no one told her about it was that she wasn't qualified to bring anyone to take the Pill Sage assessment. Those who took the Pill Sage assessment were at least Tao Transformation Pill Deities. Tao Transformation Pill Deities didn't need a newcomer like her to lead the way. That's because Pill Deities had to enter the VIP lounge to continue the assessment. A muddle-headed guide and a muddle-headed assessment, yet she passed. Ning Qing took out a bottle of medicinal pills and handed it to the female cultivator leading the way. Thank you for leading the way. This medicinal pill is for you. I'll go find my friend. You don't have to take care of this. The female cultivator didn't dare to say no. She quickly bowed and said, Thank you, Senior. Seeing Ning Qing disappear at the end of the road, she still felt some contempt in her heart. Generally, pill refiners were the wealthiest group of people. Even if she just led the way, most pill refiners would throw a storage bag at her. Inside the storage bag, there were at least a few bottles of good medicinal pills and even a pile of spirit crystals. She had never seen a stingy person like Ning Qing, who only gave a medicinal pill. Even if Ning Qing didn't give her anything, she wouldn't dare to say half a word or show even half a face. Fortunately, this pill refiner didn't make her wait for long. A few hours wasn't a big loss to her. Nevertheless, she still opened the jade bottle and took a look. When the jade bottle was opened, the Tao charm of the medicinal pill spread out, and the female cultivator suddenly froze. She was an eternal cultivator, but that didn't mean she had no insight. She had been in the pill union for some time, so she naturally knew that this medicinal pill was a Tao pill. Each Tao pill was more precious than a Tao fruit of the same type, which could only be bought at auctions. But now, she actually had one in her hand. The female cultivator's heart pounded wildly. She quickly closed the lid of the jade bottle and even looked around. With this Tao pill, she could definitely exchange it for a batch of cultivation resources, which would greatly increase her chances of advancing to the Tao molding Holy Emperor stage. What a generous pill refiner! She had never seen a pill refiner give away a Tao pill so casually. This pill refiner wasn't stingy, but generous. Would a pill refiner who failed the assessment give away such a precious Tao pill casually? Thinking that Ning Qing might succeed in the Tao Transformation Pill Saint assessment, the female cultivator who led the way trembled with excitement. Not all pill refiners were as indifferent as Ning Qing. Some pill refiners came to take the assessment, and the female cultivator who led the way must have some results. What was a result? That was, the pill refiner she led had a higher chance of success. If she brought out a Tao Transformation Pill Saint, no one in the pill union would be able to match her reputation. With that, would she still worry about cultivation resources? In fact, Ning Qing found the female cultivator leading the way pleasing to the eye. Plus, he had a lot of falling scar Tao pills on him, so he gave one to this female cultivator. For him, a falling scar Tao pill was nothing. As soon as Ning Cheng arrived at the place where Jian Trishan was waiting, Jian Trishan came out and looked at Ning Cheng with a smile. "Brother Ning, so fast. Did you pass the assessment?" Ning Cheng nodded, "I got lucky and finally passed. Let's go to the city master's mansion the day after tomorrow." 2 days passed by in a flash. On the day of the city master's banquet, Ning Cheng entrusted Yan Ji to Xian Xiu and went to the Heaven Essence Sacred City's city master's mansion with Jian Trishan. Seeing the defensive array outside the Heaven Essence Sacred City's city master's mansion, Ning Cheng understood that Lu Jiesheng wasn't an ordinary city master. No matter how high Lu Jiesheng's cultivation was, he couldn't open this defensive array. He was an array Dao master. Using the Grand Essence Realm's classification system, he was a beginner spirit array master. His Dao confirming attainments far exceeded that of ordinary beginner spirit array masters. Jian Sanshan, on seeing Ning Cheng frown, realized that Ning Cheng was using his spiritual consciousness to investigate. He quickly spoke up from the side, "Elder brother Ning, in this place, you must not use your spiritual consciousness to investigate, otherwise you might end up killing me." Ning Cheng smiled, "I know, you can rest assured." If it were before he took the Dao Transformation Pill Saint assessment, Ning Cheng would never dare to probe around like this. Jian Trishan's words were right. Once the city master's mansion became angry, the two of them would turn into ants. But it was different now. Not to mention that he was a Dao Transformation Pill Saint. Even if it was Cheng Hotian's face, Lu Jiesheng didn't dare to refuse. Ning Cheng followed Jian Trishan and entered the guest hall under the guidance of the city master's mansion's cultivator. More than 100 people had already arrived. Not only that, but more people kept coming in. From this, one could tell that the city master had invited a lot of people this time. As soon as Jian Trishan came in, many cultivators stood up and greeted him. Apparently, his status wasn't bad. In this place, Jian Trishan didn't dare to neglect them and greeted them one by one. Not long after Ning Cheng and Jian Trishan sat down, more than 100 people walked into the guest hall. Seeing 9 revolving sacred Dao pawns Shitianhe and a few women walk in, Ning Cheng's face suddenly sank and he gave a cold snort. Chapter 961. It's you. Shi Shuang, who was standing next to Shitianhe, immediately recognized Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng was just a little Dao molding divine emperor. Shi Shuang seemed to have found him instantly. Shitianhe frowned. "Shuang, who is this?" She was naturally aware of Shi Shuang's arrogance. She would definitely not care so much about a rogue cultivator for no reason. Shi Shuang looked at Ning Cheng and sneered, "His name is Ning Cheng, but he has another identity. I believe that everyone knows about it, that is, Ji He." "Shuang, you're saying that he's impersonating Ji He?" A middle-aged woman standing beside Shitianhe asked in surprise. Not many people in Peace City knew about him, but when it came to Ji He, there was probably no one here who didn't know about him. The top 10 of the Grand Essence Great Meat snatched the first spring of the extraterritorial spirit spring. The owner of the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill had killed Guahauga, one of the Grand Essence's 12 sacred children. He had also suppressed another one of the Grand Essence's 12 sacred children, Ji Pingzhong, to the point that he only dared to occupy the 10th spring. After killing Manjuran, the patriarch of the barbarian dragon clan, one of the top 10 sects, Man Huishan, chased him into the land of broken laws. Moreover, Ning Cheng also heard that Ji He killed Hua Erqi, one of the 12 Grand Essence sacred children, in the Grand Essence mystic realm and obtained countless divine grasses. It was as if he had a grudge against the Grand Essence's 12 sacred children. He bullied either the Grand Essence's 12 sacred children or the Dragon Son. Ji He had only appeared for a short period of time, but he had done a lot of things. Moreover, everything he did made people break out in cold sweat. Shi Shuang's voice was not soft. None of the people in the hall were weak, and almost all of them heard Shi Shuang's words. At this moment, all eyes fell on Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng had done so many things, yet still dared to swagger his way into the city master's mansion's banquet. It truly showed that his courage was not small. From the looks of it, he came with Sword Tri-Mountain. Although the three Sword Mountains had some fame, it was almost impossible to protect Ning's city in this kind of place. How did you know that he was Ji He? Shi Tianhe stared at Ning Cheng. She felt that this person was somewhat familiar. Shi Yishuang glanced at Ning Cheng before replying, Holy Emperor Barbarian Dragon chased after lifeless Poison Hand and Heartless Monk in the Grand Essence ruins to find him because he killed Man Juran. Later, when Ning Cheng disguised himself as Ji He to participate in the Grand Essence Great Meet, Barbarian Dragon Emperor immediately gave up waiting in the Grand Essence ruins and came to Heaven Essence Sacred City in time. Many people guessed that Ji He was Ning Cheng in disguise, however, most people did not know who he was. I happen to know this person. This person's courage is really not ordinary. He had directly offended Lifeless Poison Hand and Heartless Monk during the Grand Essence Ruins exchange meet. Now, Man Huishan has turned Lifeless Poison Hand into ashes, yet he is still alive and dared to come here. Shi Tianhe and the other middle-aged female cultivator next to her exchanged glances, before their eyes suddenly lit up as they stared at Ning Cheng. As long as they took down Ning's city and handed it over to Man Huishan, they could definitely exchange it for a lot of things. Most importantly, this little cultivator still had the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation pill on him. If Shi Tianhe thought this way, the others would naturally think the same way. If this weren't the city master's mansion, maybe someone would have already taken action against Ning Cheng. Did he offend you? Shi Tianhe asked with a cold tone. Shi Yishuang naturally understood the meaning of these words. She wanted to find an excuse to take down Ning Cheng. She thought about it for a while but couldn't think of any way Ning Cheng had offended her. A cold snort sounded out, and a powerful aura surged over. The people staring at Ning Cheng felt this powerful aura and guessed that someone would be unlucky before the banquet even started. Because the person exuding this aura was Tong Mingzi, one of River Luo's sacred sex elders. He also had another identity, Guahauga's master. Guahauga died at the hands of Ning Cheng, who pretended to be Ji He. Yet, Ning Cheng still dared to appear in Heaven Essence Sacred City's city master's mansion. With Tong Mingzi's early-stage Dao essence cultivation, he could slap Ning Cheng into ashes with a wave of his hand. However, many people understood that Tong Mingzi didn't want revenge for his disciple, but for the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation pill on Ning Cheng. Seeing so many people wanting to swallow Ning Cheng, Jian Sanshan shook his head speechlessly. Ning Cheng had offended too many people. Even if he wanted to help Ning Cheng, he didn't dare to say half a word. Just when Tong Mingzi was about to step over to Ning Cheng's side, a few more people walked in. As soon as these three people came in, it felt like they were in three different worlds. City Lord Lu. Holy Emperor Barbarian Dragon. Sect Master Fei. After the three people came in, everyone stood up and greeted them. Jian Sanshan's mouth was full of bitterness. He didn't expect Man Huishan to come here. Thinking of the grievances between Ning Cheng and Man Huishan, he subconsciously looked at Ning Cheng. However, he found Ning Cheng's expression calm, without any signs of panic. He even turned his head and looked at Jian Sanshan with a smile. Is that City Lord Lu Jiesheng, the city master of Heaven Essence Sacred City? While asking, Ning Cheng wondered if Carol had shared his map with Man Huishan. Otherwise, how could this old man come out of the land of broken laws so quickly? As for fear, he really didn't feel it. Although he hated Shi Yishuang for deliberately harming him, as long as he took out the Pill Saint qualification token, no one would dare to do anything to him. Jian Sanshan secretly praised Ning Cheng's thick nerves in his heart. He then introduced, the long-haired, black-bearded Holy Emperor on the far left is City Lord Lu. As for the other two, you should know one of them. He's Barbarian Dragon Clan's Dragon Emperor Man Huishan, and the other is Profound Moon Spirit Gates Sect Master Fei Feng. Ning Cheng was only a Dao sculpting holy emperor, but he could feel that Man Huishan's cultivation had improved again. This fellow seemed to have gained more benefits in the land of broken laws than him. Back then, he was already at the full circle Dao essence realm. Now that his cultivation had improved, he would definitely be a primordial chaos holy emperor. Lu Jiexing and Fei Feng, who stood next to Man Huishan, gave off a majestic aura that didn't lose out to Man Huishan. Apparently, these two were also primordial chaos holy emperors. Cheng Ho Tian said that Lu Jiexing was still a Dao essence realm cultivator. Brother Jian, isn't the Profound Moon Spirit Gates Sect Master surnamed Qi? Ning Cheng asked with a frown. Jian Sanshan couldn't help but admire Ning Cheng's open-mindedness. Under such circumstances, shouldn't he pay the most attention to Man Huishan? Why would he pay attention to Profound Essence Spirit Gate Sect Master Fei Feng? Fortunately, he also knew a little about Ning Cheng's past. Ning Cheng and Qi Shixingsing were friends, so he would naturally pay attention to Qi Shixingsing's father. Qi Shixingsing's father was the previous sect master of Profound Moon Spirit Gate. I heard that Profound Moon Spirit Gate sect master Qi Zhonggui encountered some problems during his seclusion. The original Grand Elder Fei Feng became the new sect master. Profound Moon Spirit Gate has been very low-key about this matter, but I don't know why. After listening to Jian Sanshan's answer, Ning Cheng suddenly felt a little strange. Why would a primordial chaos powerhouse encounter problems in seclusion? Moreover, after he separated from Qi Shixingsing, 73 Star hadn't come to find him. Was it also because of this matter? 3 primordial chaos holy emperors came in, and Tong Mingzi, who wanted to grab Ning Cheng, stopped himself. Arresting someone in the city lord's mansion's guest hall without any politeness meant that they didn't give the city lord any face. It was fine if he wanted to arrest someone, but he had to inform Lu Jiexing first to show respect. Man Huishan's gaze swept around the guest hall and soon fell on Ning Cheng. He snorted coldly, "You're like a ghost. I can see you everywhere, you ant." Although he couldn't wait to grab Ning Cheng and take him away, Man Huishan didn't want to see Ning Cheng right now. Because now that he saw Ning Cheng, even if Ning Cheng pointed at his nose and scolded him, he couldn't touch a single hair on Ning Cheng's head. Ning Cheng also ridiculed him with disdain. "Man Zi, this father also wants to say the same thing. Why didn't the land of broken laws kill trash like you? Sure enough, scourges live for thousands of years. You." Man Huishan's face turned livid with anger. He was the patriarch of the barbarian dragon clan and a dragon emperor. Now, he was even a primordial chaos powerhouse. Ning Cheng was just a puny Dao sculpting holy emperor, yet he dared to scold him, a primordial chaos holy emperor. It would be strange if he didn't feel angry. Everyone in the guest hall felt shocked. Ning Cheng was just a puny Dao sculpting holy emperor, yet he dared to speak to Dragon Emperor Man Huishan like this. What the hell was this fellow's courage made of? What shocked everyone even more was that Man Huishan actually endured it and didn't do anything to Ning Cheng. With Man Huishan's personality, he would definitely attack Ning Cheng. At most, he would greet Lu Jiexing. But now that Man Huishan didn't do anything, it felt strange. Humph. Lu Jiexing stared at Ning Cheng and gave a cold snort. His powerful spiritual consciousness immediately suppressed Ning Cheng. A puny Dao sculpting cultivator dares to act so boldly. Someone, throw him out of the city master mansion. He thought that Man Huishan didn't do anything to Ning Cheng because he cared about his face. Ning Cheng was just a Dao sculpting holy emperor. How could he compare to Man Huishan, the patriarch of the barbarian dragon clan? Lu Jiexing said this because he wanted Man Huishan to owe him a favor. He. City Master Lu sure is awe-inspiring. Throwing people out at the drop of a hat, does City Master Lu really think that the Fantasy Orchard is your Lu clan's private property? Or, does City Master Lu think that after advancing to primordial chaos, you don't put anyone in the world in your eyes? A sarcastic voice interrupted Lu Jiesheng's words. Lu Jiesheng's expression changed when he heard this. Then, he saw two men, one tall and one short, walk in. He quickly stepped forward and cupped his fists. Lu Jiesheng greets Association Master Cheng and Protector Ju. Just now, this Dao sculpting cultivator dared to be rude to Grand Essence's barbarian dragon Holy Emperor, which made me angry. No matter how much courage he had, he wouldn't dare to look down on the Pill Union's second president, Cheng Hotian. Don't look at how he had just advanced to Primordial Chaos Holy Emperor. But he was nothing in front of the Pill Union. Not to mention the Pill Union, even Protector Ju around Cheng Hotian could kill him. After all, he was a late-stage Primordial Chaos Holy Emperor. Why did I hear that barbarian was rude to my brother Ningqing first, and my brother retorted. Is he a dragon emperor? Is he a guest? If my brother isn't a dragon emperor, why should I throw him out? Even if Cheng Hotian's cultivation was weaker than Lu Jiesheng's, Cheng Hotian's aura was much stronger than Lu Jiesheng's. Cheng Hotian's brother. Ning Cheng had just advanced to the Dao sculpting realm. When did he have such a powerful elder brother? Cheng Hotian was a Dao transformation pill saint and the second president of the Pill Union. Even the sect masters of the top 10 sects would have to bow down to him. Yet, these two people, who had nothing to do with each other, had become brothers. The entire guest hall turned completely silent, without a single sound. Chapter 962. Although he didn't understand why Ning Cheng was friends with Cheng Hotian, Lu Jiesheng reacted quickly and said, "So brother Ning is a friend of Association Head Cheng. I was too reckless before." Ning Cheng had to admire Cheng Hotian. This kind of person was the most dangerous. He weighed the pros and cons in the shortest time possible. The Pill Association didn't belong to the 10 great sects, but it didn't lose to them at all. Lu Jiesheng was just a city lord. Even if he reached primordial essence, he couldn't compare to the Pill Association. Lu Jiesheng seemed to be sailing with the wind and bowing his head to Cheng Hotian, but deep down in his bones, he simply did not take it seriously at all. Ning Cheng was able to sense it. This kind of guy who could bend and stand tall as needed, and who didn't affect his Dao heart even if he surrendered on the surface, was the most terrifying. After Lu Jiesheng bowed to Cheng Hotian, he cupped his fists towards Ning Cheng. "Brother Ning, I was wrong just now. Even if I want to kick you out, I have to find a proper reason." Ning Cheng said coldly, "I don't have many brothers. You aren't qualified to be my brother." Everyone was in an uproar. A Dao-molding divine emperor said that a primordial essence cultivator wasn't qualified to be his brother. This was simply too arrogant. Lu Jiesheng's face turned cold and his entire body became gloomy. He didn't care about bowing his head to Cheng Hotian, but Ning Cheng, a mere Dao-molding divine emperor, dared to mock him. This was simply courting death. Ha! Cheng Hotian walked to the Pill Association's seat and sat down. He glanced at Tong Mingzi and said coldly, "This sage will see who dares to touch my brother today." It's very lively. Another voice was heard and several divine emperors walked in. This interlude interrupted Lu Jiesheng's anger. What confused Ning Cheng was that the leader was a Dao Nourishment Divine Emperor. This Dao Nourishment Divine Emperor looked very young and had a Dao rune around him. Ning Cheng was a Dao Transformation Pill Sage, so he quickly understood that this was the aura of a Pill Dao rune. This person was a Pill Refinement Expert. Jian Sanshan was shocked by Ning Cheng's strength. Only when Cheng Hotian stood up did Jian Sanshan let out a sigh of relief. He didn't expect Ning Cheng to be friends with the Pill Association's second president, Cheng Hotian. If that was the case, then the other sects who wanted to make a move on Ning City would have to be a lot more afraid. The hatred between Man Huishan and Ning Cheng couldn't be resolved because Ning Cheng killed Man Huishan's son, Man Juren. However, it was not worth it for the other sects to offend Cheng Hotian over a dead sage. "Brother Ning, this is the youngest Dao Transformation Pill Saint in the Grand Essence Realm," Jing Han. He's the most promising holy emperor to become a primordial Tao pill saint. He's also an elder of the Grand God Pill sect. The two pill gods behind him are also from the Grand God Pill sect. Jian Sanshan explained to Ning Cheng in a low voice. Ning Cheng nodded. Because of the origin, his alchemy Tao runes weren't very eye-catching after he advanced to a Tao transformation alchemy saint. The Tao runes of the alchemy Tao revolved around Jing Han's body. Jian Sanshan was right. He should be a Tao transformation alchemy saint. Yes, this person is indeed a powerhouse in the field of alchemy. Ning Cheng nodded. The Grand God Pill sect isn't a big sect. But because the youngest Tao transformation alchemy saint, Jing Han, is in the Grand God Pill sect, the Grand God Pill sect status isn't any lower than the top 10 sections. Jian Sanshan sighed. He was a Tao transformation alchemy deity himself, so he naturally knew how difficult it was to advance to a Tao transformation alchemy saint. Because of this, he also admired and worshipped Jing Han. Ning Cheng showed a slight smile. Yes, he's a Tao transformation alchemy saint. But if he's the youngest Tao transformation alchemy saint, then it would be too much. I'm also a Tao transformation alchemy saint, and I believe that I'm much younger than him. Jian Sanshan smiled but didn't answer Ning Cheng's words. He wouldn't believe Ning Cheng's words. However, he and Ning Cheng became friends not only because of Ning Cheng's Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill but also because of Ning Cheng's talent in alchemy. An alchemy master with poor talent in alchemy wouldn't be able to find a refining hub without a furnace in a short time. With Ning Cheng's talent in alchemy, even if he couldn't step into the Tao transformation alchemy saint realm in the future, it wouldn't be difficult for him to get the title of alchemy saint. Every alchemy master was conceited, and he was equally conceited. It wasn't surprising that Ning Cheng set his goal to become a Tao transformation alchemy saint. When Ning Cheng saw Jian Sanshan's expression, he knew that Jian Sanshan didn't believe him. Therefore, he took out a pale golden qualification card and said, "Brother Jian, I'm telling the truth." Jian Sanshan's indifferent gaze fell on the qualification card in Ning Cheng's hand and suddenly felt as if he had been struck by lightning. He was a Tao transformation alchemy deity, so he naturally understood that this pale golden qualification card was a genuine Tao transformation alchemy saint qualification card. Ning Cheng put away the Tao transformation alchemy saint qualification card and said with a smile, "Brother Jian, now you believe that I didn't lie to you, right?" After a few breaths of time, Jian Sanshan finally took in a deep breath, as he stared at Ning Cheng with a fanatical gaze. "I finally understand." He finally understood why Cheng Ho Tian wanted to call Ning Cheng a brother and even offend Lu Jiesheng. He also finally understood why Ning Cheng didn't fear Man Huishan. Not to mention that Ning Cheng was a Tao transformation alchemy saint, it was worth Cheng Ho Tian's investment. Even if Ning Cheng and Cheng Ho Tian weren't familiar with each other, no one could bully a Tao transformation alchemy saint certified by the Pill Association. As long as Ning Cheng took out the Tao transformation alchemy saint qualification card, anyone who targeted Ning Cheng would fight to the death with the Pill Association. He was a Tao transformation alchemy deity. Although he was also certified by the Pill Association, his status was far inferior to a Tao sculpting alchemy saint. Ning Cheng, on the other hand, had the Tao transformation alchemy saint qualification card. "Brother Ning, it's really my luck to be friends with you." Jian Sanshan calmed down. Although he still felt excited, his expression calmed down. After calming down, Jian Sanshan remembered the medicinal pill Ning Cheng had given him 2 days ago. At that time, Ning Cheng had only said that he would give him one of the highest grade medicinal pills he refined. Now that he thought about it, how could a pill sage like Ning Cheng give an ordinary medicinal pill to a Tao transformation alchemy deity? Jian Sanshan immediately took out the jade bottle containing the medicinal pill. Previously, he thought that Ning Cheng wanted him to take a look at the advantages and disadvantages of this medicinal pill and then give him some pointers. He had planned to take out the medicinal pill and discuss it with Ning Cheng after the city master's banquet ended. But now he understood that it wasn't the case. Purple Heaven Pill. Jian Sanshan's spiritual consciousness scanned the medicinal pill and almost called out. Purple Heaven Pill was a Tao pill that allowed Tao nourishment holy emperors to comprehend Tao transformation. For him, it was something he urgently needed. Ning Cheng obviously knew what he needed, which was why he gave it to him. Brother Ning, thank you. Jian Sanshan put away the jade bottle in excitement. In the past, he had helped others with alchemy, and they would always thank him. But now, he felt the same gratitude towards Ning Cheng. Most of the reason he helped Ning Cheng was because he needed something from Ning Cheng. Moreover, his help was just ordinary help. Ning Cheng had already given him more than 10 million times in return. Jing Han's status was indeed high, and the warm greetings he received were second only to Cheng Ho Tian and Lu Jiesheng. City Master Lu Jiesheng ignored Ning Cheng and personally led Jing Han to the Grand God Pill sect seats. After everyone sat down, Lu Jiesheng stood on the main seat and cupped his fists. Many thanks to all the sect masters, the strongest alchemists in the Grand Essence realm for coming to my Heaven Essence Sacred City's City Master Mansion as guests. Top quality spirit fruits, top quality Tao fruit wine. With Lu Jiesheng's greeting, beautiful female cultivators walked into the guest hall with jade plates in their hands. Then, they brought spirit fruits and wine to each seat. When Ning Cheng heard the words Tao fruit wine, his heart moved. If he used Tao fruits to refine wine, wouldn't it be much more interesting than refining Tao pills? Even if he ate the medicinal pill, he wouldn't be able to taste the Tao fruit at all. Apart from using the Tao fruit laws within, it had no other use. But wine was different. Not only did it have the taste of Tao fruits, but it also contained the Tao fruit laws. This Lu Jiesheng truly was a big spender. With this Tao fruit wine, this trip wasn't in vain. Most likely, only Lu Jiesheng was rich enough to use Tao fruits to make wine. Many people use Tao fruits to make wine, but only City Master Lu can take it out to entertain guests. Jian Sanshan whispered in Ning Cheng's ear. Ning Cheng nodded. Using Tao fruits to make wine and taking it out to entertain so many people. Soon, the Tao fruit wine arrived in front of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng scanned it with his spiritual consciousness and found only a very faint aura of laws, which made Ning Cheng feel a little disappointed. Looking at the glass of wine in front of him, Ning Cheng suddenly thought of a way to get rich. If he could use Tao fruits to refine Tao fruit wine, and at the same time, maintain the Tao fruit wine's laws and taste, it would definitely be 100 times more delicious than Tao pills. The more Ning Cheng thought about it, the more he felt that it was feasible. He even forgot that he was still at the City Master Mansion's banquet. He picked up the Tao fruit wine in front of him and took a big gulp. The wine was mellow, and a clean and rich spirit aura poured into his throat. It truly tasted good. However, the faint fragrance of spirit fruits and the faint aura of laws made Ning Cheng feel disappointed. This kind of wine could be refined using ordinary God spirit fruits. Using Tao fruits to make this kind of wine, at best, it would only attract attention. Without experiencing the true Tao fruit law aura and Tao fruit fragrance, it could be said to be a waste of things. Humph, it's really vulgar and can't see the world. City Master Lu hasn't even finished speaking, yet he can't wait to drink the Tao fruit wine. What a disgrace. Shi Shuang's voice rang out. She and Ning Cheng had a conflict in the Grand Essence mystic realm, and at that time, Ning Cheng had disguised himself as Ji He. Therefore, she seized every opportunity to hit Ning Cheng while he was down. Jian Sanshan, who sat on Ning Cheng's side, also raised his glass and took a sip before speaking up with an intoxicated voice, City Master Li's Tao fruit wine is just too fragrant. I can't help but take a sip first. Lu Jiesheng laughed, picked up the jade glass and said, I'm here to celebrate everyone's harvest in the fantasy garden. Chapter 963. Jian Sanshan politely greeted the sage emperors who toasted him while sending a sound transmission to Ningcheng, telling Ningcheng who the pill saints were. Thanks to Sword Trimountain's introduction, Ningcheng learnt that there were at least 3 other Dao transformation pill saints here apart from him. Besides Cheng Ho Tian and Jing Han, there was also a red-faced middle-aged man. The red-faced middle-aged man was called Leshem. He was a Dao Actualization Divine Emperor and Dao Actualization Pill Divine. As for Dao Modeling Alchemy Saints and Dao Birth Alchemy Saints, there were at least 10 of them. Most of the Grand Essence Realm's Pill Saints had come here. From the looks of it, these Pill Saints attached great importance to the Alchemy Conference. Brother Ning, you can beat Lui Xian to the point that he doesn't dare to talk nonsense. You even managed to occupy the first spring of the extraterritorial domain. I really admire you. Percy offers you a toast. A rough man with a full beard picked up a glass of wine and stood in front of Ningcheng. As a Dao Transformation Pill Saint, this was the first time someone toasted him. Ningcheng felt a little strange. This Percy seemed to have just advanced to the Dao sculpting realm like him. Toasting him so openly, wasn't this the same as slapping Man Huishan's face? Jian Sanshan knew that Ningcheng didn't understand many things, so he sent a voice transmission to Ningcheng. Brother Ning, this Percy is one of the Grand Essence's 12 sacred children. He came from a very mysterious sect, the Void Star sect. No wonder this fellow looked so happy after he beat up Lui Xian. It turned out to be Percy, who was ranked behind Lui Xian. Ningcheng smiled, picked up the wine cup and drank it in one gulp. He guessed that Percy didn't come looking for him just because he taught Lui Xian a lesson. There must be something else. Fellow Taoists. Just as Percy was about to continue speaking, Jing Han suddenly picked up a glass of wine and stood up. In everyone's eyes, Jing Han was the youngest Dao Transformation Alchemy Saint in the Grand Essence realm. No one would not give such a person face if he stood up. Even Primordial Chaos Holy Emperors, who did not stand up, raised their wine cups. When Jing Han advanced to become a Primordial Dao Alchemy Saint in the future, who could guarantee that he wouldn't beg him? My Great God Pill Sect once obtained an Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill. Not only could it expand one's spiritual sea, but it could also purify and strengthen one's spiritual sea. It can be said that this is the most powerful spiritual pill I've ever seen. When Jing Han spoke about the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill, a strange atmosphere filled the hall, and many gazes even fell on Ningcheng. Jing Han arrived a little later and didn't know that Ningcheng was Ji He, nor did he know that Ningcheng had the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill on him. My Great God Pill Sect has already found the pill formula for the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill from this pill. Jing Han's words immediately ignited the atmosphere of the entire guest hall. Although Ningcheng possessed the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill, most people guessed that Ningcheng obtained it from the Grand Essence Mystic Realm. As for Ningcheng refining the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill, not many people believed it. Even if Jian Sanshan guessed Ningcheng's identity, he initially only wanted to ask Ningcheng for 2 Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pills. Now that Jing Han possessed the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill's pill formula, it would be strange if it did not cause a commotion. When the voices in the hall quieted down a little, Jing Han continued, My Grand God Pill Sect has decided to promote the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill to all cultivators in the Grand Essence realm. Everyone can benefit from it. The atmosphere turned even more enthusiastic, and many holy emperors praised Jing Han and praised the Grand God Pill Sect for its contribution to the Grand Essence realm. Ningcheng suddenly frowned. The refining method and means of the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill were very complicated. Once the pill formed, there would be no trace of any spirit herb. Therefore, he felt sure that no one could infer the pill formula. Jing Han was just a Dao Transformation Pill Saint, yet he could deduce the Empyrean Consciousness Transmutation Pill's pill formula. Ningcheng didn't believe it. But since Jing Han spoke so confidently, did he really deduce it? The question was, where would he get the divine chalcedony? Because the divine grasses needed to refine the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill are too precious, the Grand God Pill sect can only sell this pill in another way. In addition to spirit crystals, it also requires some divine grasses needed for alchemy, such as flowerless flower, white rainbow Buddha pomegranate. Ning Qing sneered in his heart when he heard this. Most of the divine grasses mentioned by Jing Han had nothing to do with the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill, except for a few. Obviously, Jing Han didn't want these divine grasses for himself, but the Grand God Pill sect. The fantasy garden is about to open. I believe that many of these divine grasses will appear in it. If you need the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill, my Grand God Pill sect will cooperate with you. After Jing Han finished his words, Ning Qing finally understood that this person had the idea of entering the fantasy orchard. Pill Sage Jing, I'm afraid you don't know that Ji He, the original owner of the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill, is here. Tong Mingzi's voice rang out. Apparently, he also understood Jing Han's purpose. If the original Ji He was here, then the Grand God Pill sect's pill was a pirated version. If the pirated version wanted to sell well, then it naturally had to restrain the original. Jing Han's words stopped. He knew best whether the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill's pill formula had come out or not. The Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill launched by his Grand God Pill sect had too many side effects. Compared to the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill, the effect was 1,000 miles apart. If he could catch Ji He, his Grand God Pill sect would have taken him away a long time ago. He didn't expect that Ji He would actually come to this place. His gaze immediately swept out. This time, Ning Qing didn't wait for anyone to stand up and mention him. He signaled to Percy that he would say something later. Then, he took out a jade bottle and took the initiative to stand up. Fellow Taoists, you guessed correctly. The Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill did flow out from my hands. There are still 5 Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills in the jade bottle in my hand. These 5 Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills might be a masterpiece. Of course, I haven't seen the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill refined by Pill Sage Jing Han. As such, I can't say how his medicinal pill compares to my medicinal pill. But I believe that the Pill Sage here isn't a vegetarian. You can easily tell which one is better by comparing the 2 medicinal pills. While talking, Ning Qing raised the jade bottle in his hand. Now I want to sell these 5 Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills. Moreover, one of them is of high quality. Ning Qing felt sure that if Jing Han wanted to sell fake Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills, he would have to buy the real pill in his hand. Otherwise, the Grand God Pill sect wouldn't be able to eat it all. I want it, what's the price? As soon as Ning Cheng's words came out, many cultivators stood up, and the atmosphere turned noisy. Jing Han stared at Ning Cheng and frowned. After a while, he suddenly spoke up. This Tao friend raised the medicinal pill in his hand and said it was the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill. Apart from the star-stepping tower master and me, no one here has seen the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill. I don't know if he's lying or not. So, why don't you take out the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill and let me check it? If Ning Cheng wasn't a Tao transformation pill sage, Jing Han's words wouldn't have been out of place. Not only was it not out of place, but it also sounded righteous. Even if someone knew what he was thinking, no one dared to say it out loud. The people in the hall all showed expressions of watching the show. They already knew what kind of person Ning Cheng was. He even dared to scold Man Huishan and didn't put City Master Lu Jiesheng in his eyes. Moreover, his friend, Cheng Ho Tian, was a Tao transformation pill sage and the second president of the Pill Union. No matter how powerful Jing Han was, Ning Cheng wouldn't care about him. Things happened beyond everyone's expectations. After Ning Qing heard Jing Han's words, he quickly cupped his fists and said to Jing Han, "It's reasonable for Pill Sage Jing to check it. But these medicinal pills of mine are too precious. I was planning to use these medicinal pills to exchange for cultivation resources." In case, Jing Han's expression turned cold. "Tell me, what do you want me to leave behind for you to feel at ease?" Ning Qing quickly waved his hand. "How could I dare to let Pill Sage Jing leave behind things for me? Wouldn't I be too arrogant?" Jing Han's expression eased a little. But before he could continue, Ning Cheng's voice came again. "Let's make an equivalent exchange. I heard that the Grand Divine Pill sect has a lot of 5 elements heavenly fruits. Let's exchange these 5 medicinal pills for 55 elements heavenly fruits." A burst of gasps emerged. This fellow really dared to open his mouth. Exchanging 5 medicinal pills for 55 elements heavenly fruits, it was simply heaven-defying. A thin layer of ice formed on Jing Han's face. Before he could speak, Ning Qing suddenly poured out a medicinal pill from the jade bottle. "Everyone look, it's the real Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill. It's definitely not fake." As soon as this medicinal pill came out, Jing Han's eyes tightened. The medicinal pill Ning Qing took out was indeed the real Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill. Although it was only middle grade, it was definitely real. "I only have 2 5 elements heavenly fruits. If you want to exchange, then let's exchange. If you don't want to, then forget it." Jing Han clenched his fists. A Tao molding divine emperor dared to speak like this in front of a Tao transformation pill sage like him. Ning Qing sighed, as he placed the jade bottle in his hands in front of Lu Jieshan. "Well, 2 it is 2. Who told you to be a Tao transformation pill sage? I'm already trying to please you. So, I decided to exchange with you. Put the things in front of the city lord, and he will testify." Jing Han didn't expect Ning Qing to be so easy to talk to. The price dropped from 50 to 2 in an instant. Seeing Ning Qing put the medicinal pill in front of Lu Jieshan, Jing Han took in a deep breath, took out 2 jade boxes, and put them in front of Lu Jieshan. At the same time, he took away Ning Qing's jade bottle. Ning Qing raised his hand and picked up the 2 jade boxes. He felt ecstatic in his heart. Using 4 semi-low-grade and 1 middle-grade Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills to exchange for 2 5 elements heavenly fruits, it truly was a stroke of good luck. He had refined these medicinal pills while studying the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills pill recipe. They were almost equivalent to useless pills. He didn't expect to use them now. If Jing Han hadn't used his Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill to swindle people, Ning Qing would have used the real pill recipe to exchange. Not only did this fellow use his medicinal pills to swindle people, but he also took the opportunity to make money and ruin his and pill sage Min Kong's reputation. If Ning Qing didn't cheat him, he would feel sorry for himself. Jing Han opened the jade bottle, and when his spiritual consciousness saw only 1 middle-grade Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill and the rest were almost useless pills, his face suddenly turned red like a pig's liver. "Good, very good." Jing Han put away the jade bottle and glanced at Ning Qing with a cold gaze. None of the people present were fools. When they saw Jing Han's expression, they realized that Ning Qing had offended another Tao transformation pill sage. This fellow's courage was bigger than the sky. Holy Emperor Extreme Void, who had received benefits from Ning Qing, stood up and said, "City Lord Lu, everyone came here for the illusion fruit garden. Since we've already eaten the spirit fruits and drunk the Tao fruit wine, why don't we all watch our Grand Essence Realm's genius alchemists compete for the Tao fruits? Wouldn't it be better to discuss the Tao while watching my Grand Essence Realm's genius alchemists compete for the Tao fruits?" Chapter 964. Lu Jieshan was a wily old fox and naturally knew what was going on. As soon as Holy Emperor Extreme Void finished speaking, he stood up and spoke in a clear voice. "Holy Emperor Extreme Void is right. Tasting good wine while admiring my grand essence realm's alchemy Tao Grandmaster easily harvesting heavenly treasures is indeed a pleasant thing. After speaking, Lu Jiesheng raised his hand, and 2 blue flags fell in the middle of the hall, separated by a few feet. As the 2 blue flags fell, a 3-dimensional crystal screen suddenly appeared in the middle of the hall. 12 doors were displayed on the crystal screen. The 12 gates looked like a fairyland on the crystal screen, like a dream or fantasy. After a while, a circular medicine garden gate appeared under the crystal screen. Spatial ripples fluctuated within this circular gate. Ning Cheng had heard Cheng Hotian's introduction and knew that these 12 gates should be the first floor of the fantasy fruit garden. Calling this entrance the fantasy fruit garden was indeed worthy of its name. Ning Cheng had never seen the fantasy fruit garden open before, but he knew that the circular gate under the 3-dimensional crystal screen was the entrance to the first floor of the assessment. It was also a teleportation array. This is the first floor of the fantasy fruit garden. Only alchemy deities who can refine 12 special grade Tao sculpting divine pills are eligible to enter. I can't refine 12 special grade Tao sculpting divine pills yet, but I still want to give it a try. Jian Sanshan whispered to Ning Cheng. Alchemy Tao powerhouses who want to enter the fantasy fruit garden. After Lu Jiesheng finished speaking, he cupped his fists towards the surroundings. I'll go first. A slender Tao nourishment holy emperor walked out. He first cupped his fists towards the surroundings before walking to Lu Jiesheng and handing out a storage ring. Big Dipper 7 Peaks Liang Qiuzhe greets City Lord Lu. I'll add 10% more this time. Lu Jiesheng put away the ring, took out a small storage bag, and handed it to Liang Qiuzhe with a smile. Many thanks. Congratulations to Pill God Liang for advancing to the next level. Ning Cheng asked with some confusion, Brother Jian, what does this Liang Qiuzhe mean? Only then did Jian Sanshan wake up. Ning Cheng was a Tao transformation pill saint, which meant that he wanted to enter the fantasy fruit garden. He had previously thought that Ning Cheng would not go in, so he did not mention anything about the fantasy fruit garden. Now that Ning Cheng asked about it, he quickly replied, because the fantasy orchard is guarded by City Master Lu, so every pill master who enters the fantasy orchard gets a 20-80 split. That is to say, the pill masters get 20%, while the City Master's mansion gets 80% as a reward for guarding the fantasy orchard. Ning Cheng suddenly frowned. This fantasy orchard's entrance transmission array is controlled by the City Master, yet this kind of guard also requires a reward. Jian Sanshan had no choice but to explain, although guarding the illusion fruit garden isn't a crime, it's still a lucrative job. It might not always be the Lu clan. As for how the Grand Essence domain will be allocated, I don't know. If they didn't hand over any god crystals, once they entered the fantasy fruit garden, they would get a 280 split. When Liang Qiuzhe said he would add another 10%, he meant that once they entered the fantasy garden, he would get 30%. If he wanted 30%, he would have to give away 5 million divine crystals. There should be 5 million divine gems in the ring he took out just now. If you want to distribute 40%, then you have to give out 10 million yuan. 50% would be 20 million yuan, and so on and so forth. Ning Cheng sucked in a breath of cold air. This was no different from robbing spirit crystals. At this time, more and more alchemy masters walked through the door under the crystal screen in the middle of the hall. Ning Cheng found that most of the alchemy masters didn't pay any spirit crystals. Apparently, they intended to split it 280. However, those pill sages all paid a lot of spirit crystals and stated their share. In fact, City Master Lu is quite generous. After all, only a few alchemy masters enter the medicine garden. After the banquet, City Master Lu would give some of the alchemy masters a lot of gifts. Jian Sanshan continued. Then how does City Master Lu know how many divine grasses or Tao fruits the alchemy masters found? Jian Sanshan showed a smile. The fantasy garden opens once every 100 years, and the number of divine grasses obtained by each alchemy master has long since been fixed. Besides, do you think City Master Lu would give everyone a spiritual storage bag? After entering the fantasy garden, you can't use any space-type storage devices, not even the true spirit world. You can only put the divine grasses or Tao fruits you obtained into the spiritual storage bag. Therefore, it's clear at a glance how many divine grasses each person obtained. There is no danger in the fantasy garden, and alchemy masters only need to collect the divine grasses after entering. Under normal circumstances, alchemy masters would put some of the things they need in the spiritual storage bag, such as medicinal pills, pill furnaces, and so on. Ning Qing secretly rejoiced in his heart. Fortunately, he had asked Jian Sanshan about it. He had previously wondered why Lu Jiesheng gave everyone a spiritual storage bag. This kind of spiritual storage bag could allow one's spiritual consciousness to sweep into it. It turned out that it was used to store things. If I obtained a lot of Tao fruits and took them out, I would feel some pain in my heart. Therefore, I also want to take out something to exchange for spirit crystals and give out less Tao fruits. When Ning Qing said this, someone in the hall finally couldn't help but laugh out loud. Lu Jiesheng still had a faint smile on his face. Oh, what Pill God Ning said makes sense. I wonder how much Pill God Ning wants. Ning Qing hesitated for a while before taking out a jade bottle and saying, I thought I didn't have any Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills on me. I didn't expect to find another bottle of Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills. I'm really lucky. There are a total of 6 in here, and all of them are top-quality consciousness transmutation pills. The smile on Lu Jiesheng's face instantly disappeared, and he raised his hand and grabbed the jade bottle that Ning Qing had taken out. Although he had advanced to Tao fusion on the surface, his sea of consciousness was not stable. One could say that his strength was still a level lower than that of a true Tao fusion powerhouse. Moreover, a spirit pill like the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill was something he urgently needed. When Ning Qing took out the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill to sell to Jing Han, he couldn't wait to snatch it. Now that Ning Qing took out 6 more Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills, and all of them were top-quality medicinal pills, even if he looked calm on the surface, he couldn't remain calm in his heart. Ning Qing let Lu Jiesheng grab his jade bottle and didn't care about it. Jing Han, who hadn't yet entered the first level of the fantasy fruit garden, saw Ning Qing take out another bottle of Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills, and his hands trembled with anger. Ning Qing had said that he had sold him the last few, but now he found another bottle. If he could, he would have immediately killed Ning Qing. Lu Jiesheng opened the jade bottle and swept his spiritual consciousness inside. A refreshing feeling that made his sea of consciousness feel as if it had been watered with an innate aura made Lu Jiesheng feel ecstatic. This was what he needed. In any case, he had to keep these 6 Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills. You can take 60% of the divine grasses in the fantasy fruit garden. After taking in a deep breath, Lu Jiesheng capped the jade bottle and spoke in a deep voice. Ning Qing stretched out his hand. Forget it. I don't even know if I can enter the first level. Even if I took out a bottle of Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills, would only get 60%. I might as well keep this bottle of Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills and exchange them for Tao fruits with other pill saints. By the way, I just exchanged 2 Tao fruits with the generous pill saint Jing Han. City Master Lu, are you bullying me because I haven't seen the world yet? How much do you want? Even if he knew that if he didn't put the jade bottle in Ning Qing's hands, everyone would see it, Lu Jiesheng still didn't hand over the jade bottle. Ning Qing sighed and said, I suddenly regret it. With my level of alchemy, I can only enter the first level and obtain some ordinary divine grasses. I heard that the Grand God Pill sect spent tens of millions of high-grade spirit crystals to purchase an Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill, and it was still a top-grade medicinal pill. I have a top-grade one here, and there are still 6 of them. Heavens, how many high-grade spirit crystals are there? How could I be so confused? Even if I get all the divine grasses and Tao fruits, I would still suffer a loss. Chapter 965. Everyone in the main hall sneered. You seem to have suffered a loss too. You idiot, you're definitely going to suffer. No wonder he was so bold and dared to offend so many experts. This guy turned out to be an idiot. Okay, I'll give you everything. I don't want any of the divine grasses you obtained in the fantasy fruit garden. Lu Jiesheng didn't wait for Ning Qing to say anything and directly spoke up. Behind Ning Qing stood Qing Ho Tian, who was not someone he could bully. Ning Qing frowned and looked a little regretful. But after a while, he gave out a sigh and said, "These 6 Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills belong to me and my friend Jian Sanshan. His share." Lu Jiesheng was very familiar with the Three Swords Mountain. It was not the first time he had gone to the fantasy garden to attend the city lord's banquet. However, he had never entered the illusion orchard even once. It could be seen that the reason why he was so famous was because of the Fusing Heaven pill. Fuse Heaven pill was a pill for sensing Tao essence. Jian 3 Mountain was just a Tao nourishment divine emperor and he dared to concoct a pill for sensing Tao essence. It would be strange if there were no side effects or hidden dangers of this kind of pill. Furthermore, he had never heard of anyone advancing to the primordial Tao realm because of the Fuse Heaven pill. Okay, I agree. Lu Jiesheng answered without the slightest hesitation. For Ning Cheng and Sword Trishan, it did not make any difference whether they split 20% or 100%, because these two people could not even enter the first level of the fantasy orchard. Many thanks, City Master Lu. Ning Cheng cupped his fists and thanked him, before beckoning to Sword 3 Mountain behind him. The reason why he had taken out the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pill was because he knew that Lu Jiesheng would not be able to refuse. His spiritual C was extremely powerful. He had already guessed that Lu Jiesheng was unstable when he had just advanced to primordial chaos. How could Lu Jiesheng not agree in a hurry in the face of not losing anything and getting 6 Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills for free? This idiot. Seeing Lu Jiesheng take away the 6 Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills, which she desperately needed, the middle-aged female cultivator from the 9 revolutions sacred Tao pond cursed. Shi Shuang spoke up from the side, Grand Marshal Uncle, Ning Cheng is a very cunning person. In the few instances in which I have seen him, he has never lost. Even Man Huishan couldn't do anything to him, so how could he do such an idiotic thing? Shi Tian he spoke up in a deep voice, Yishuang is right, this person called Ning Cheng is very strange. The middle-aged female cultivator also reacted and stared at Ning Cheng before nodding. After Lu Jiesheng put away the 6 Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills, he also felt that something was wrong. Ning Cheng should have the confidence to enter the first floor, otherwise, he would not have done such a thing. Even if Ning Cheng had the confidence to enter the first floor, so what? He had to get those 6 special-class Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills no matter what. Not only did Lu Jiesheng react, but most of the cultivators in the hall also realized that there was a problem. Ning Cheng was a low-level cultivator who managed to escape from Man Huishan's clutches. How could he not know how to calculate such a debt? The only possibility was that Ning Cheng really had the confidence to enter the first layer of the fantasy orchard, or even the second layer of the medicine garden. Man Huishan sneered and didn't speak. He had chased after Ning Cheng for a few years and had a better understanding of Ning Cheng. Why would such a person take out 6 special-grade Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills for no reason? If it were him, even if he longed for the Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills, he would never agree. Man Huishan immediately thought of disagreeing and subconsciously glanced at Lu Jiesheng with a sigh in his heart. Would he really not agree? If there were 6 Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills in front of him, even if he knew that Ning Cheng would take advantage of it, he would most likely agree to Ning Cheng's request. Ning Cheng took out the first furnace of chaos and put it into the spiritual storage bag. When everyone saw Ning Cheng's first furnace of chaos, they couldn't help but laugh. This first furnace of chaos wasn't too bad, but it definitely wasn't a good furnace. This kind of furnace dared to engrave the words first furnace of chaos, wasn't it afraid of being struck by lightning? Ning Cheng didn't care about what others thought. He grabbed the spiritual storage bag and followed the crowd into the circular entrance. After entering the entrance, Ning Cheng felt the scenery in front of him change, and another hall appeared in front of him. Right in front of this hall was not a wall, but a cliff. There were 12 doors lined up on the cliff. Just as Cheng Ho Tian had said, each door had 12 pill slots. Above the 12 doors was a void. More than 80 alchemists came in, and these alchemists all found their own positions. They even took out their pill furnaces and placed them in front of them, waiting for the illusion orchard to open. When Ning Cheng saw that Cheng Ho Tian didn't come in, he could guess some of the reasons. After all, Cheng Ho Tian had been famous for a long time and was also the second president of the Pill Association. If he came in and his level wasn't even as good as the juniors, not only would his reputation take a big hit, but the reputation of the Pill Association would also take a hit. "Brother Jian, you can stay next to me," Ning Cheng whispered to Jian Sanshan, who was behind him. Jian Sanshan didn't plan to stay far away from Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng was a Dao transformation pill sage, and it would be better for him to stay by Ning Cheng's side. After another half an incense stick worth of time, the door finally disappeared. When the door disappeared, many alchemists immediately took out their pill fires and pill furnaces. Everyone knew that the alchemists were about to snatch the medicine garden's entrance. There were only 12 doors to the medicine garden, and there were more than 80 pill gods and pill sages here. Whoever refined a furnace of special grade Dao sculpting spirit pills first would be the first to enter the first level of the illusion orchard. He heard that the first to enter would obtain the most precious divine grasses. "Brother Ning, you're a Dao transformation pill sage. Try to refine the most difficult Dao sculpting spirit pills you can refine." Jian Sanshan sent a voice transmission to Ning Cheng after Ning Cheng took out the primal chaos first furnace. "Why?" Ning Cheng looked at Jian Sanshan in confusion. Didn't he say that as long as he refined 12 special grade Dao sculpting spirit pills, he could open the door? Jian Sanshan also took out a pill furnace and sent a voice transmission to Ning Cheng. Although each level only needs a specific grade of medicinal pill to open the door, the number of divine grasses inside the door is different. However, there was a difference in the rarity and quantity of the divine herbs inside the gate. The higher the grade of the door-opening divine pill, the harder it would be to refine. After opening the door, the divine grasses inside would become more precious and numerous. Ning Cheng understood that these doors were equivalent to teleportation arrays. These teleportation arrays only needed medicinal pills to provide pill chi to open them. Different medicinal pills would open up different teleportation directions. According to Jian Sanshan, the more difficult the medicinal pill was to refine, the more precious the teleportation array to the medicinal garden could be opened. Ning Cheng originally wanted to refine a furnace of ordinary Dao sculpting spirit pills. But after listening to Jian Sanshan's words, he immediately found a furnace of divine grasses for the primal tranquil pill. The primal tranquil pill was just a Dao sculpting spirit pill. The main divine grasses were the purple lightning stamen and the one essence zoysia, supplemented by dozens of ordinary divine grasses. The difficulty of refining it was comparable to refining a mid-level Dao nurturing spirit pill. The primal tranquil pill was a top-grade Dao sculpting spirit pill. It could help Dao sculpting holy emperors gain an epiphany of Dao intent. Whether it was seclusion or spirit technique enlightenment, this pill was better than ordinary spirit pills. Seeing Ning Cheng refine the primal tranquil pill, Jian Sanshan could only sigh. Ning Cheng was probably the only one who could refine the primal tranquil pill in front of the door of the first level. Even Jing Han wouldn't dare to refine such a pill. Although he wanted to see how Ning Cheng refined the primal tranquil pill, Jian Sanshan knew that now wasn't the time. He had to start refining pills himself. What he wanted to refine was just a furnace of ordinary spirit essence restoration pills, the Heaven Balance pill. At this moment, every alchemy master was immersed in refining pills and completely ignored the people around them. Jian Sanshan, like the surrounding alchemy masters, also forgot about everything else. His entire mind and body were focused on the furnace of Heaven Balance pills in front of him. Since he and Ning Cheng had become friends, he didn't want to look like trash in front of Ning Cheng. If Ning Cheng entered the 4th level of the fantasy orchard, he wouldn't even be able to enter the 1st level. It would be too embarrassing. The more he wanted to succeed, the more mistakes he made. Seeing that the pill technique couldn't take shape and the pill chi started to overflow, Jian Sanshan could only sigh. It would be difficult for him to refine 12 top-quality Heaven Balance pills with this furnace of pills. At this moment, Ning Cheng's voice suddenly rang in his ears, the pill technique has a crack, pill chi is overflowing, spiritual sense is locking the pill liquid. The pill technique is as follows, spiritual nourishing spirit chi, true extreme fire element. Jian Sanshan was overjoyed. Although he didn't know why Ning Cheng could still pay attention to his pill furnace while refining pills, he firmly believed in Ning Cheng's voice transmission. In just a few breaths' time, the pill chi that was leaking out gathered back and the pill grade increased again. As long as he continued, this batch of top-quality Heaven Balance pills would definitely be able to escape. Jian Sanshan suppressed his excitement and carefully refined the pills. In the guest hall of the City Lord Estate, everyone stared at the three-dimensional screen in the middle of the hall. Although they couldn't see the faces of each alchemist, they could clearly see more than 80 alchemists refining pills in front of the 12 doors. It seems that the competition for the first level of the 12 doors isn't small. Divine Emperor Extreme Void saw the overflowing pill chi on the screen and smiled. I think the first one to open the door should be Great God Pill Sex Pill Saint Jing Han. He's a Dao Actualization Pill Saint, so his Pill Dao talent should be the best here, a Dao Actualization Divine Emperor praised. Not necessarily. Senior Lesham is also a Dao Actualization Pill Saint. His understanding of Pill Dao shouldn't be weaker than Pill Saint Jing Han's. The people in the guest hall were still in the midst of their discussions when Ning Cheng stood up. Who is this person? Why did he stand up so early? How long has it been? Less than a third of an incense stick of time, and he already failed. This is too trashy. By the way, this guy must be a pity for an empty city. The Dao Nourishment Divine Emperor who saw Ning Cheng stand up stopped halfway. On the crystal screen, one could only see the figure of the alchemist, but not the appearance. He guessed that it was Ning Cheng, but then he remembered that Ning Cheng's empty city consciousness transmutation pill was for City Lord Lu. It wasn't hard to guess that it was Ning Cheng. After all, apart from Ning Cheng, who was a Dao molding pill god, the rest were at least Dao nourishment pill gods. Chapter 966. That's not right. If he failed, he should have been sent out, right? Why didn't he come out? Without needing the Holy Emperor to continue speaking, everyone in the guest hall saw 12 cyan lights shoot out of Ning Cheng's pill furnace. The 12 cyan lights didn't hit any of the 12 doors. Instead, they shot into the void above the 12 doors. After the 12 cyan lights shot out, a new door suddenly appeared above the 12 doors. This new door was more than twice the size of the 12 doors below. The 13th door of the fantasy orchard opened. Cheng Ho Tian looked excited and suddenly stood up. Lu Jiesheng, who always had a smile on his face, also stood up sluggishly and murmured, "Is it true that the fantasy orchard has a 13th door?" Not only Cheng Ho Tian and Lu Jiesheng, but almost everyone in the hall didn't have the mood to continue tasting the Dao wine. They all stood up and stared at the 13th door on the crystal screen. Excitement and disbelief filled the entire hall. After a while, Holy Emperor Extreme Void sighed and said, "Legend has it that the fantasy orchard has a 13th door, which contains countless spirit medicines that are already extinct in the Grand Essence realm. It's just that no one has ever opened it since ancient times. I didn't expect someone to open it today. It's definitely Pill Sage Jing Han. Only he has this ability. Only he can refine the most difficult Tao sculpting spirit pill in such a short time. Someone immediately spoke up with enthusiasm. Many people thought that this view was correct. Indeed, only Pill Sage Jing Han had this ability. Lu Jiesheng clenched his fists and suddenly felt some regret in his heart. What Jing Han gave him was indeed precious, but no matter how precious it was, it couldn't compare to the divine grasses in the 13th door of the fantasy orchard, right? What's more, Jing Han was a Tao transformation pill sage. His path would never stop at the first level. Wouldn't the divine grasses grow more and more precious? After a while, he comforted himself. Fortunately, 20% of the divine grasses and Tao fruits Jing Han obtained belonged to him, which made him feel a little more balanced. A dark red-faced man from the Immortal Corpse sect sneered. Grand God Pill Sex Pill Sage Jing Han. Huh, stop dreaming. Perhaps no one knew that a Tao transformation alchemy saint from the Immortal Corpse sect, Do Jiangshi, was also participating in the Illusion Garden. Although Do Jiangshi only had a Tao modeling alchemy saint qualification card for the Elixir Association, his alchemy strength was definitely that of a Tao transformation alchemy saint. However, he had not gone to the Elixir Association for certification. Because of Do Jiangshi, the Immortal Corpse sect would become a new and powerful sect in the Grand Essence realm. Do Jiangshi was innately suitable for any cultivation method of the Immortal Corpse sect, including the Immortal Corpse sect's alchemy method. This time, the Immortal Corpse sect had brought Do Jiangshi to participate in the Illusion Garden in order to collect a large amount of resources and refine more divine pills or even saint pills for the Immortal Corpse sect. He didn't expect Do Jiangshi to be so powerful and open the rumored 13th door of the fantasy orchard. Fellow Chun, your opinion seems to be a bit different. Could it be that the pill refiner who opened the 13th gate is from your Immortal Corpse sect? A middle-aged man sitting next to the red-faced man chuckled and deliberately asked. He was Saint Emperor Gai He of the Purple Mist Immortal Valley. The Purple Mist Immortal Valley and the Immortal Corpse sect had fought over the divine crystal mine and never got along well. The red-faced man from the Immortal Corpse sect spoke up in a calm voice, who knows? Maybe it's from my Immortal Corpse sect. But in any case, it won't be your Purple Mist Immortal Valley's turn. Gai He's face sank, and he suddenly became speechless. His Purple Mist Immortal Valley didn't have any alchemy experts, which was why they came here to buy Tao fruits. A furnace of Tao sculpting spirit pills, even if it was difficult to refine, wouldn't have any problems for Ning Cheng. If it weren't for helping Jian Sanshan, he could have finished refining it in a quarter of an incense stick worth of time. After helping Jian Sanshan, Ning Cheng also completed the refining of the primordial tranquil pill. He stood up and was about to put away the pills when he saw the 12 medicinal pills in the pill furnace shoot out. Then, Ning Cheng's eyes changed, and he clearly saw a new gate suddenly appear in the void above the 12 doors. A pale blue passage appeared in front of him, leading to this new gate. The 13th gate. Ning Cheng looked around in doubt. The rest of the alchemists were focused on refining pills, and no one noticed him. Even Jian Sanshan, who was next to him, was concentrating on his pill techniques. Ning Cheng quickly understood that he should be isolated by some kind of restriction. Even if he opened the gate, it wouldn't affect the rest of the alchemists. Maybe the rest of the alchemists wouldn't be able to see him at all. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath. No matter what, he had opened the gate after refining a furnace of special-grade Tao sculpting spirit pills. If there was nothing wrong with the rules, he should be able to go in. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng didn't hesitate and directly stepped onto the blue passage and entered the 13th gate. After Ning Cheng entered the gate that appeared in the void disappeared again. Ning Cheng disappeared, and no one paid attention to him. An incense stick worth of time after Ning Cheng entered the 13th gate, a man with a zombie-like face suddenly stood up, and 12 black lights shot out of his pill furnace and landed on the first gate on the left. The first gate on the left suddenly opened, and a passage extended from his feet to the gate. The zombie-faced man glanced at the alchemists around him with disdain, raised his head, and quickly walked up. A moment later, he entered the gate. After he entered the gate disappeared without a trace. The moment the zombie-faced man disappeared, Jing Han raised his hand and stood up. The 12 medicinal pills in his pill furnace also shot out. He glanced at the many alchemists still working hard on refining pills and raised his foot to step on the passage in front of him. The moment his foot landed, his expression changed. He saw that the cliff wall, which originally had 12 gates, now had only 11 gates. In other words, someone had entered the fantasy fruit garden before him. Jing Han's expression turned ugly. There were only 2 Dao transformation pill saints here, and he had just seen Resham performing alchemy. In other words, someone who wasn't a Dao transformation pill saint had entered the first level of the fantasy fruit garden before him. This was a slap in the face. He was the youngest pill saint in the Grand Essence realm and had the most promising future. Yet, someone had beaten him to it. Not to mention that the divine grasses he obtained would be far less than the first person to enter the gate. Even his reputation would fall because of this incident. He couldn't let this person enter the second level of the fantasy fruit garden before him. Thinking of this, Jing Han didn't dare to stay any longer. His figure flashed and disappeared into the gate. After Ning Cheng entered the medicine garden, he immediately felt shocked. Before entering this place, the most valuable divine herb garden he had seen was the one pill sage Min Kong had left in the Grand Essence mystic realm. But after coming here, he realized that pill sage Min Kong's medicine garden was nothing more than a child's play. The spiritual herbs in this divine herb garden not only matured, but they were also all rare divine grasses. Many of them had already gone extinct even after a long time. Yet, there were countless of them here. Nirvana flame, thunder immortal fruit, soul-snatching illusory ginseng, measureless treasure flower, there were only things he couldn't think of, not things he couldn't see. Ning Cheng felt ecstatic. He felt even more confident about finding the dim star gold hidden leaf in the 3rd level of the fantasy fruit garden. Ning Cheng was just about to open the spiritual storage bag in his hand when he suddenly felt something wrong. His spiritual consciousness could directly communicate with the storage ring and the quintessential world. Ning Cheng raised his hand, and a long spear weapon from the storage ring fell into his hand. He looked at the long spear weapon in his hand in doubt. Didn't they say that one couldn't use a spatial ring after entering the first level of the fantasy fruit garden? How could he still use it? Ning Cheng quickly put aside this doubt. It would be better for him if he could use it. He didn't need to put the divine grasses in the spiritual storage bag at all. He could just plant them in the true spirit world. Ning Cheng had a lot of experience in plundering the spiritual medicine garden. Therefore, even if there were many divine grasses here, he would sweep through them without leaving a trace. Ning Cheng secretly rejoiced in his heart. Fortunately, he could use the true spirit world here. Otherwise, his spiritual storage bag wouldn't have been able to hold so many divine grasses. An hour later, Ning Cheng finished collecting the divine grasses and stood in front of another gate. Unlike what Ching Ho Tian said, there weren't 9 gates here, but only 1. Ning Cheng guessed that it was because he didn't come in through the 12 gates of the fantasy fruit garden, so it wasn't the original 9 gates that appeared. This time, Ning Cheng directly chose the 9 orifices heart pill. The main divine grass of the 9 orifices heart pill was the 9 orifices divine glass. This divine pill belonged to the top Tao and nourishing spirit pills and was one of the most difficult Tao and nourishing spirit pills to refine. The 9 orifices heart pill wasn't a Tao pill, but it could help Tao nourishing cultivators understand the Tao transformation realm and give them a glimmer of hope to advance to the Tao transformation realm. Moreover, it could cleanse the soul and purify the meridians. This kind of medicinal pill had a high value. Apart from being difficult to refine, the 9 orifices divine glass was also extremely precious. In the Grand Essence realm, rumors had it that the 9 orifices divine glass had long since become extinct. Ning Cheng had obtained at least a dozen 9 orifices divine glass on the first level of the fantasy fruit garden, so he naturally wouldn't be reluctant to part with it. The more difficult and precious the medicinal pill he refined, the more valuable the divine grasses would be after opening the gate. Because he didn't need to help the 3 sword mountains this time, Ning Cheng spent less time refining the pills. In less than a third of an incense stick worth of time, 12 special grade 9 orifices heart pills shot out from Ning Cheng's pill furnace and fell directly into the groove on the gate. The gate opened, and a rich aura of divine grasses rushed out. The 3 sword mountains activated the pill collecting technique, and the 12 special grade heaven balance pills shot out of the pill furnace. The 3 sword mountains stood up in surprise. As long as the heaven balance pills shot out of the pill furnace, it meant that he had a chance to enter the fantasy fruit garden. Sure enough, he saw the 3 remaining gates on the cliff in front of him. A passage appeared in front of him and led him into one of the gates. The 3 sword mountains suppressed the ecstasy in his heart and walked into the fantasy fruit garden step by step. At this moment, his admiration for Ning Cheng couldn't be expressed in words. He felt sure that Ning Cheng had entered the fantasy fruit garden first. A person who could guide him to refine a furnace of special grade Tao sculpting spirit pills during his own alchemy, just how powerful was his understanding of the Tao of alchemy? Refining 12 special grade spirit pills in one furnace was something that the 3 sword mountains had done occasionally, but it was only by chance. He believed that from today onwards, he would often refine special grade spirit pills. For no other reason than the pill restoration technique that Ning Cheng taught him. Chapter 967. Ning Cheng had just stepped through the door when he suddenly had a feeling that he had left something behind in the medicine garden. Just as Ning Cheng was about to turn around, several oppressive auras surrounded him. He saw that the door behind him had completely disappeared, and 6 human-shaped puppets surrounded him. Puppets belonged to the category of mechanisms in the true cultivation world. In addition to being proficient in mechanisms, one also needed to have strong artifact crafting skills and proficiency in the Tao of arrays to refine them. Although these 6 puppets couldn't use Tao techniques, their attacks weren't inferior to ordinary Tao sculpting holy emperors. Some of them could even rival late-stage Tao sculpting holy emperors. Ning Cheng could only bring out a middle-rank spirit artifact long spear, roll up a fixed range of spear patterns and shoot out. His 7 bridges spirit technique might be powerful, but using it against these puppets was equivalent to playing the lute to a cow. Maybe when he reached grand completion of the 7 bridges spirit technique, he could easily sweep away these puppets with the 7 bridges spirit technique. But not now. The time wheel was the best way to deal with them, but Ning Cheng didn't dare to use it. As the time wheel swept past, everything turned into nothingness. This was the medicine garden, and as the time wheel swept past, Ning Cheng guessed that there weren't many divine grasses here. Bang bang bang. The spear patterns blasted into the puppets, temporarily suppressing the momentum of these puppets. The body of the long spear slammed into the shoulder of one of the puppets, causing the puppet's shoulder to collapse. Ning Cheng breathed in a sigh of relief. These puppets didn't seem to be as powerful as he had imagined. But the next moment, Ning Cheng froze. The puppet whose shoulder he had blasted off actually began to repair itself. Then, a clear and rich stream of spirit essence poured into the puppet's body from the medicine garden. In just a moment, the puppet returned to its original state. So that's how it was. Ning Cheng stared blankly at the puppets tearing through his domain and finally understood what he had lost. To provide so many precious divine grasses in the medicine garden and grow so luxuriantly, there must be a divine spring underground. It was just like Pill Sage Min Kong's divine grass garden in the Grand Essence mystic realm, which also contained rich spirit essence. As a result, there was also a spirit vein underground. What he missed was the rich spirit essence in the medicine garden in front of him. Now, these puppets relied on the spirit essence under the medicine garden to move and even repair themselves. In the god spirit chi that had just surged up, he had also sensed a kind of wood origin aura. At this time, the 6 puppets once again pressed down on Ning Cheng. Fortunately, these puppets could not display any spiritual techniques, and could only rely on their formidable strength to suppress Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng understood that the actual threat of these puppets was only average. Therefore, he didn't continue to hold back. He stimulated all his spirit essence and swept out with his spear. These spear patterns, which almost caused space to tremble, swept out and forced the 6 puppets to stop. Ning Cheng's long spear instantly crushed through the bodies of the 6 puppets, causing a piercing sound to ring out. Bang bang bang. The 6 puppets were directly paralyzed by Ning Cheng's spear, as they fell to the ground. Ning Cheng did not even have time to breathe a sigh of relief, as he stared in shock at the 6 paralyzed puppets. Bursts of dense wood origin energy gushed out from the ground and rapidly flowed into the bodies of the 6 puppets. The 6 puppets seemed to be trembling non-stop. At this rate, the 6 puppets would soon recover. Such a powerful recovery ability. Ning Cheng directly brought out the nameless flame and threw it out. The nameless flame fell on one of the puppets, and the puppet's recovery speed seemed to slow down. However, Ning Cheng didn't know what material this puppet was made of, but it couldn't be burned in one go. If I can't burn it all at once, then I'll burn it slowly. Ning Cheng's thoughts had just come out when he saw a huge hourglass in the distance. This hourglass was suspended in the air by an array formation, and the fine sand inside it kept flowing down. What was going on? Would he be teleported out if he didn't get out of this medicine garden by the time the hourglass ended? Ning Cheng's heart tightened as he thought of this. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. These puppets didn't have strong combat power, which meant that it was a waste of his time. It wasn't easy for him to come here, and he hadn't even entered the Dao fruit garden. He hadn't even seen the dim star gold hidden leaves. How could he leave like this? Ning Cheng no longer had the mood to talk with these puppets. He directly threw out the underworld crow ghost Rotan King and said a few words. He then quickly locked the puppets and rushed into the spiritual medicine garden. He didn't dare to gamble. If he got teleported out, it would be bad. The level of this spiritual medicine garden was higher than the one he just came from. It was divided into 3 sections, and each section of the spiritual medicine garden was sealed with restrictions. Ning Cheng didn't care about damaging the divine grasses and directly blasted the restrictions with the time wheel. He wanted to remove the restrictions on these 3 sections of the spiritual medicine garden in the shortest time possible, collect the divine grasses here, and then head to the next level of the spiritual medicine garden. When he smashed the restrictions on the first section of the spiritual medicine garden, Ning Cheng felt relieved when he saw the underworld crow ghost Rotan King locking the 6 paralyzed puppets on the ground. Although the underworld crow ghost Rotan King's level was low, these puppets were completely paralyzed. As long as he didn't let these puppets recover, it would be fine. Ning Cheng also felt the underworld crow ghost Rotan King crazily absorbing the familiar wood origin spiritual essence. But it had nothing to do with him. The spiritual essence here didn't belong to him. The underworld crow ghost Rotan King was his. The more the underworld crow ghost Rotan King absorbed, the better. When Ning Cheng collected all the divine grasses in the 3 sections of the spiritual medicine garden, he found that the hourglass only had half an incense stick worth of time left. Ning Cheng quickly rushed to the front of the underworld crow ghost Rotan King. He was just about to help the underworld crow ghost Rotan King kill the 6 puppets when he found that the 6 puppets were truly crippled this time. There was no movement, nor any aura pouring into them to repair them. The underworld crow ghost Rotan King's strength had reached the full circle of starry sky grade 8, and it gave off the aura of an imminent breakthrough. Ning Cheng wanted to put away the underworld crow ghost Ratan King. He planned to let the underworld crow ghost Ratan King come out before surmounting the tribulation. Since he couldn't surmount the tribulation in this place, he would have to go to the mysterious yellow bead to surmount the tribulation. Since this place was arranged by a powerhouse, Ning Cheng didn't dare to use the mysterious yellow bead here. The underworld crow ghost Ratan King, which Ning Cheng had always been commanding, didn't immediately put away. Instead, it sent out some urgent messages. You said there's a wood origin attributed spirit vein below. Ning Cheng spoke up in shock. Sure enough, the underworld crow ghost Ratan King's feedback confirmed that there was a familiar wood origin spirit vein below. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath. No wonder the divine grasses here were so lush. It turned out to be like this. Looking at the hourglass that was about to disappear, Ning Cheng resisted the greed in his heart. He put away the underworld crow ghost Ratan King and the 6 puppets and rushed to the next door. If he had such a spirit vein, he could open up a huge spirit herb garden in the mysterious yellow bead. Even the Dao fruit tree, which he had been cultivating with the law soil and hadn't shown any signs of movement, would blossom and bear fruit. Fortunately, he knew that he couldn't touch this wood origin attributed spirit vein right now. First, he didn't have the time. Second, he knew that this spirit vein ran through the entire fantasy orchard. Even if he couldn't get it here, he could go to another level to get it. Most importantly, he didn't know what the consequences of taking away this spirit vein would be. Once he took away this spirit vein, the entire Grand Essence realm would know about it. Even if he was a Dao transformation pill saint and had Qing Hotian's protection, he wouldn't be able to bear the anger and jealousy of the masses. Standing in front of the door leading to the 3rd level of the fantasy orchard, Ning Cheng took out the alchemy materials for the He Bodhi pill. The main divine grasses for the He Bodhi pill were the Heaven Harmony Immortal Grass and the Bodhi Earth Lotus. The Bodhi Earth Lotus was also an extinct divine grass. The reason why Ning Cheng had it was because he had just obtained it from this place. From this, one could tell how many extinct divine grasses were in the fantasy orchard. The He Bodhi pill was a top-notch Dao transformation spirit pill. After taking this pill, one could see the flaws in one's Dao heart and cultivation method, and then improve them. One could say that before advancing to the Dao essence realm, the value of a He Bodhi pill couldn't be measured in spirit crystals. Apart from the Bodhi Earth Lotus being too precious, it was also extremely difficult to refine. Once the furnace of He Bodhi pills was completed, the hourglass would soon run out. Ning Cheng rushed in the moment the door in front of him opened. In the City Master Mansion's guest hall, everyone was still talking about who opened the 13th door. This discussion lasted for a few hours, but there was still no conclusion. Those pill deities who failed to refine pills and got teleported out had no idea who opened the 13th door of the fantasy orchard. I heard that the medicine garden of the 13th door of the fantasy orchard is completely different from the medicine gardens of the 12 doors below. It contains some extinct or extremely precious divine grasses. If the alchemist who went and really obtained these and took out these divine grasses to pass them on, it would bring great merit to our Grand Essence realm. A tall man with a purple copper face spoke with a solemn tone. Everyone present knew who the speaker was. Sect Master Fei Feng of the Profound Moon Spirit Gate. Ever since the previous Sect Master of the Profound Moon Spirit Gate, Qi Zhonggui, met with an accident, Grand Elder Fei Feng took over as the Sect Master. No one here was a fool. Everyone understood what Fei Feng meant. That is, no matter who entered the 13th door, the rare and extinct divine grasses he obtained should be shared with everyone. This way, these rare medicinal herbs wouldn't go extinct again. The reason was honorable and honorable. But why would someone give them the rare divine grasses they obtained? Fei Feng said this because his Profound Moon Spirit Gate didn't have any alchemy experts. Sect Master Fei's words make sense. No matter who it is, they should stand in the perspective of our Grand Essence domain and the Grand Essence realm and consider all the cultivators of the Grand Essence realm. 9 Revolution Sacred Dao Pan Shi Tianhe immediately stood up and echoed. I'm just afraid that the alchemist who went in can take out these rare divine grasses. Profound Moon Spirit Gate doesn't have enough resources to bid for them. A Dao Transformation Divine Emperor from the Great God Pill sect chuckled. His cultivation couldn't compare to Fei Feng. However, because of Jing Han, the Great God Pill sect was like the sun in the sky. Fei Feng snorted coldly. The Fantasy Orchard was originally established by the seniors of the Grand Essence realm. In addition to the development of the Grand Essence realm, they also had another purpose, which is to leave behind the extinct divine grasses. Now that the 13th door has been opened, we should follow the wishes of the seniors of the Grand Essence realm. How can we talk about competing? Chapter 968. If it's not yours, you might break your teeth if you take it back by force. If our Immortal Corpse Sect's Pill Master enters the 13th Dao door, we won't take out those rare God Spirit herbs. I want to see who dares to take them from our Immortal Corpse Sect, a man with a dark red face sneered. Fei Feng was annoyed but didn't say anything. There was a 90% chance that the Pill Divine who entered the 13th Dao door was Great God Pill Sect's Jing Han. He didn't understand why the Immortal Corpse Sect was so blind to speak for the Great God Pill Sect. The Immortal Corpse Sect was very strange. His Mystic Moon God Sect only had one Primordial Essence Divine Emperor. He had only been the sect leader for a short time and didn't have Qi Changue's confidence. This time, he came to Heaven Essence Sacred City to participate in the City Master's banquet mainly to find some Dao fruits and cultivate some forces belonging to his side. Therefore, he ignored Chun Fei from the Immortal Corpse Sect. Everyone, stop arguing. Once someone enters the 3rd level of the Fantasy Garden, the door-opening pill refined will appear on the crystal screen. If there really was an extinct divine herb, then pill refiners would definitely use it in order to obtain more and more precious spiritual herbs. Everyone look, someone has already appeared on the 2nd level. It looks like it's the Pill Master who opened the 13th Dao door. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before he enters the 3rd layer of the Fantasy Garden, a woman spoke up to stop the argument. She was only a Dao Actualization Divine Emperor, but no one objected. Everyone here knew her. She was the vice leader of the Pill Association, Qing Yi Divine Emperor. She was also a Dao Actualization Pill God. Moreover, Sacred Emperor Qing Yi was right. As she spoke, 9 doors appeared on the 2nd level of the crystal screen. A pill refiner landed in front of these 9 doors. The Pill Master checked the surroundings before taking out his pill cauldron and starting concocting pills. As soon as the Pill Master started concocting pills, a list of pill names appeared on the crystal screen. How is this possible? A Dao Actualization Divine Emperor said in shock. This was indeed impossible. For the door-opening pill concocted by the Pill Master to appear on the crystal screen, it would only appear after the 3rd level door was opened. Right now, the alchemist in front of the door of the 9 doors had just sat down on the 2nd floor of the Fantasy Fruit Garden. He hadn't even refined the pill to open the door of the 2nd floor of the Fantasy Fruit Garden. How could the name of the door-opening pill appear on the crystal screen? With Bodhi Dan? Am I seeing things? It's really Hipu Dan. The guests in the hall could no longer remain calm. Hipu Dan was ranked first. There really are extinct divine herbs and Bodhi pills that require the Bodhi Earth Lotus. The Bodhi Earth Lotus has been extinct in the Grand Essence realm for many years. But now, it has appeared again. Waves of exclamations and gasps rang out. Most of the people in the hall stood up in excitement. Apart from peak-level holy emperors, those who came here were peak-level alchemy gods or alchemy saints. Everyone was very clear about the main divine herbs of the Bodhi pill. Ranked 2nd is the 9 Orifices Heart pill. Heavens, the 9 orifices God glass is an extinct divine herb, ranked third is the primordial tranquil elixir. Although this kind of Tao modeling divine elixir is not extinct, it is as difficult to refine as an ordinary Tao transformation divine elixir. This person actually used this kind of pill to open the first level of the illusion garden. No wonder he could open the 13th door of the illusion garden. No one in the hall could calm down anymore. Everyone felt as if their hearts were being clawed by a cat. Everyone knew that one of the alchemists who entered the illusion garden this time was an extremely powerful fellow. This fellow had really opened the most valuable part of the illusion garden. The hidden medicine garden within the illusion garden, which contained almost all extinct divine grasses. Why did extinct divine grasses go extinct? Because they were too important, everyone wanted to dig them up. Plus, these divine grasses were very difficult to grow. It would be strange if they didn't go extinct. Lu Jieshan clenched his fists in excitement. No matter who opened the hidden medicine garden in the illusion garden, he would get at least 20%. In any case, he would get a part of the extinct divine grasses. In this way, the Lu clan would become the premier clan in the Grand Essence realm even faster. Association Master, my pill association's medicine garden doesn't have the 9 orifices God glass or the Bodhi earth lotus. Moreover, it's just 2 medicinal pills. From this, it can be seen that this alchemist has even more extinct divine grasses. The pill association's deputy association master, Holy Emperor Qing Yi, couldn't help but send a voice transmission to Cheng Hotian. Cheng Hotian frowned secretly. He guessed that Ning Cheng should have opened the 13th door. But whether this was a good thing or a bad thing for Ning Cheng, he didn't know. When Holy Emperor Qing Yi asked about it, he could only sigh and say, no matter who this person is, my pill association will stand on his side. Yes. Holy Emperor Qing Yi felt puzzled but still gave an affirmative answer. If Holy Emperor Qing Yi could think of this, who else could? Needless to say, this alchemist who opened the hidden medicine garden in the illusion garden had many extinct divine grasses on him. Ning Qing didn't know that the people in the guest hall already knew that he had obtained many extinct divine grasses. But even if they knew, he wouldn't care about it. The divine grasses obtained from the 2 medicine gardens in the illusion garden gave him a huge surprise. He needed dozens of times more resources than others for cultivation. Moreover, he had many people around him who also needed a lot of resources. No matter how many divine grasses he had, he wouldn't complain about it. By this time, Ning Cheng had already refined a batch of top-quality Bodhi pills. He then opened the door to the 3rd floor of the illusion garden and entered. There was also an hourglass suspended in the air on this floor. Ning Cheng estimated that this hourglass would last for about an hour. Seeing this, Ning Cheng breathed out a sigh of relief. There were no puppets blocking the way here. With 2 hours to squander, it was more than enough for him. During these 2 hours, he could easily collect the divine grasses here and enter the 4th floor of the illusion garden. When he entered this medicine garden, Ning Cheng saw the divine grasses in the distance. These divine grasses were surrounded by a crystal restriction. There weren't many divine grasses in the crystal restriction, only a little more than 100. It was far less than the number of divine grasses in the first 2 doors. This made Ning Cheng feel a little disappointed. But when Ning Cheng walked to the front of the crystal medicine garden, his heart started pounding with excitement. There were indeed only a little more than 100 divine grasses here. But each of the divine grasses here was either extremely precious or a treasure that had gone extinct in the outside world. Buddha light branch, unfettered dragon leaf, rainbow light vine, reincarnation tear flower, especially the reincarnation tear flower. This divine grass was even more precious than many Tao fruits. It had long since gone extinct in the Grand Essence realm. Ning Cheng's gaze swept from these extinct divine grasses to the back, and his heart grew even more ecstatic. Behind him was a row of Tao fruit trees. These Tao fruit trees weren't very tall, and there were more than a dozen of them. Moreover, the falling scar Dao fruit tree turned out to be the worst among these Dao fruit trees. Ning Qing immediately recalled that Kong Ning had asked him to borrow points for a falling scar Dao fruit. Kong Ning, a disciple of one of the 10 major sects, found it so difficult to obtain a falling scar Dao fruit. But how many did he see here? There were at least 20 or 30 of them. Ning Cheng's surprise quickly faded. He swept through the divine grasses and Dao fruit trees a few times but didn't see any beautiful star-hidden golden leaves. Ning Qing desperately wanted to enter this floor. The beautiful star-hidden golden leaves were the divine grasses he wanted the most, but he didn't see any. Ning Qing quickly calmed down. Just because there weren't any on this floor didn't mean that there weren't any on the next floor. He decided to move away all the Dao fruit trees on this floor and then move to the next floor. These things were very important to him. Whether it was the restrictions around the medicine garden or the various array formations, Ning Cheng had broken through too many of them. In the second floor of the fantasy fruit garden, he had also forcibly broken through 3 restrictions. Therefore, Ning Cheng didn't take this crystal restriction seriously. Just as Ning Cheng was about to break through the restriction and carefully examine the crystal restriction with his spiritual consciousness, he suddenly felt dumbfounded. This was a restriction he had never seen before. Moreover, it was filled with violent power. Even if he hadn't started, Ning Cheng could guess that once he forcibly broke through the crystal restriction in this medicine garden, the violent power would destroy the entire medicine garden. After looking at it for a few minutes, Ning Cheng carefully placed his hand on the crystal restriction. He sensed a faint flow of spiritual spirit essence qi. What is this? Ning Cheng immediately took out a crippled humanoid puppet from his ring and immediately understood what was going on. This crystal covering the divine grasses and Dao fruits wasn't a restriction, but a refining method similar to the one used to refine puppets. To be precise, this was another form of puppet. Or rather, it was a crystal restriction that had nothing to do with array formations. It was refined using the same method used to refine puppets. If he forcibly attacked it, as long as the attack didn't cause too much damage, the crystal would automatically repair itself. If the attack was too powerful, the violent aura contained within it could even raise this place to the ground. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng directly brought out his long spear and blasted it at the crystal restriction. Sure enough, before he could even put away his long spear, the trace left behind by the attack disappeared, and the crystal returned to its original state. Ning Cheng finally understood why 6 humanoid puppets appeared in the medicine garden in front of him, which didn't pose much of a threat to him. It turned out that the powerhouse who arranged this medicine garden did it on purpose. He wanted the people who came later to learn the puppetry technique from these 6 puppets and then open this crystal restriction. To put it bluntly, the powerhouse who arranged the fantasy fruit garden didn't intend to let anyone open the crystal restriction and take away the divine grasses and Dao fruits. Because no one could learn the puppet technique in just an hour, unless they met a mechanism master who already knew the puppet technique. In fact, such a possibility was almost non-existent. Only a powerful pill sage could enter this place. If a person became a pill sage, how could they spend the time to learn the puppet technique from a heretical path? Moreover, the puppet technique was so powerful. Ning Cheng's heart turned cold, but it soon turned hot again. Since he came here, he had to find the dim star gold hidden leaf. The dim star gold hidden leaf was a divine grass that contained the laws of heaven and earth. It was most likely on the 4th floor of the fantasy fruit garden. Ning Cheng didn't know what the powerhouse who arranged the fantasy fruit garden meant by arranging the crystal restriction here. Since they didn't want people to enter the next floor, why would they take out the puppets for people to comprehend? Maybe this was the means of a powerhouse. If they didn't give people a chance to exit, it might affect the Tao heart of the person who arranged it. Was this the meaning of the heavenly Tao? No matter what it meant, he had to go to the next floor. Chapter 969. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng put down all his thoughts and focused all his attention on the humanoid puppet he had just taken out. For other pill saints, it might have ended here. However, he was different from others because he cultivated the mysterious yellow origin cultivation method, the mysterious yellow formless. Formless and invisible, as long as something had a form, it would not be able to hide from his deductions and would appear clearly and unmistakably. The only thing he worried about was whether he could comprehend the puppet technique and break the crystal restriction covering this medicine garden before the sand leak ended. Ning Cheng's mind was completely immersed in the humanoid puppet he had just smashed. His spiritual consciousness did not have the slightest scruple as it slowly broke through the puppet's obstruction and restrictions. The dark nether spirit eater provided Ning Cheng with great help at this time. Some of the restrictions that others would have to peel off slowly, under the tearing of his spiritual consciousness, it directly broke through. When Ning Cheng fell into the deductions of the mysterious yellow formless, the mysterious yellow origin aura almost completely surrounded him, and the puppet refining method gradually took shape in Ning Cheng's mind. At this moment, the entire medicine garden was abnormally silent except for the sound of the sand leak. Ning Cheng was not only a pill saint, but he was also an artifact crafting powerhouse. Although the puppet technique was separate, it still belonged to a branch of artifact crafting. With the help of the origin deduction, Ning Cheng only took half an hour before he opened his eyes again. He knew that he could now refine a humanoid puppet by himself. However, Ning Cheng did not show even half a shred of surprise in his eyes. Although he could refine a puppet, it did not mean that he could break the puppet's crystal cover. Although he understood the puppet refining method, he did not understand how the puppet provided the divine spiritual essence qi. He also did not understand why the 6 humanoid puppets could recover so quickly. Without understanding these things, even if he could refine a humanoid puppet, it would still be useless. What's more, the level of the humanoid puppets he could refine right now was simply too low. Compared to the 6 humanoid puppets he had dealt with before, they were on a completely different level. Even if he figured out how the humanoid puppet provided the divine spiritual qi, or even how it recovered, he wouldn't be able to use the puppet techniques he had learned in this 1 hour to break this crystal restriction that was refined using puppet techniques. Whether in theory or in practice, he could not complete this difficult task. Unless he had the kind of time array disk that Song Wei had mentioned. Unfortunately, that kind of thing was just too precious, at least he had never seen it before. Ning Cheng gave out a sigh. He then took out the other 5 crippled humanoid puppets from his ring. He studied the human-shaped puppets for the time it took for half an incense stick to burn. Seeing the sand in the hourglass decreasing, Ning Cheng grew more and more anxious. He sighed and finally gave up on continuing to study the puppet technique. Instead, he sent a spiritual consciousness message to the Underworld Crow Ghost Rotan King. Underworld Crow Ghost Rotan, when you were entangling those puppets, did you find anything unusual? At this moment, the Underworld Crow Ghost Rotan was immersed in the joy of its sudden increase in strength. As long as it could successfully cross the tribulation outside, it would become a Starry Sky Grade 9 demonic Rotan. In just a short time, it had almost reached Starry Sky Grade 9. Compared to the long years it had spent growing up, now it would laugh even in its dreams. Following behind the master, no, it should be called master, something Big Brother Chasing Bull had told him about. As long as it followed behind its master, it might even have the chance to take on a human form. Now that Ning Cheng asked, how could it dare to neglect? It quickly sent out a spiritual consciousness message. It wanted to tell its master everything it knew. These humanoid puppets could absorb wood-attributed spirit essence. Moreover, they had a starry sky demon plant inside their bodies, called the invisible stone stem. A bolt of lightning flashed through Ning Cheng's mind, as if he wanted to grasp something. He suddenly stood up and asked eagerly, what is that invisible stone stem? The Underworld Crow Ghost Rotan King's spiritual consciousness message came again. The invisible stone stem is an extremely rare starry sky demon plant. It has only a stone-like seed, and the stone stem that germinates and grows is invisible. Although invisible, it has a strong survivability. The longest invisible stone stem can extend its invisible roots hundreds of miles away from the starry sky. The easiest way to destroy the invisible stone stem is to suck out all the essence chi from the seed of the invisible stone stem. That way, the invisible stone stem will die completely and can no longer absorb spirit essence chi. That's how I did it. Ning Cheng gave a hearty laugh. What did he mean by without any effort? That was it. He had thought of all kinds of means, but he never thought that this humanoid puppet would be powered by the invisible stone stem seed. When that powerhouse refined these humanoid puppets, he controlled the growth of these invisible stone stems, which allowed them to form invisible roots inside the puppet's body. These roots acted like the human body's blood vessels and meridians, providing the puppet with the ability to move. Even if he destroyed the puppet, as long as the spirit essence chi inside the invisible stone stem seed was not sucked dry, it could still absorb the spirit essence chi and restore the humanoid puppet. He had seen the invisible stone stem seed inside the puppet before. He had always thought that it was some puppet material that had been destroyed. He never expected it to be a demon plant. The person who refined this puppet was a genius. Not only was he a genius, but he also had a good understanding of the invisible stone stem. He could even control the growth of the invisible stone stem. Unfortunately, he met his underworld crow ghost Rattan King. This was because his underworld crow ghost Rattan King's level wasn't high enough. If its level was high enough, no matter how many of these humanoid puppets appeared, it wouldn't be enough for the underworld crow ghost Rattan King to absorb. Ning Cheng looked up at the hourglass and saw that there was still about an incense stick worth of time left. If he hurried, he should be able to open the Dao Fruit Garden's entrance on the 4th floor of the Fantasy Garden before the hourglass ran out. Ning Cheng couldn't do anything about this crystal restriction without knowing how it worked. But now that he knew that this crystal restriction was formed by the invisible stone stems, even without the underworld crow ghost Rattan King, he still had a way to deal with it. Not to mention that he still had the underworld crow ghost Rattan King. Underworld crow, this crystal restriction is also formed by the invisible stone stems. I'll use an array formation to imprison the spirit essence underground for a few breaths. You have to suck these invisible stone stems to death in the shortest time possible. Ning Cheng directly called out the underworld crow ghost Rattan King. Even if the underworld crow ghost Rattan King couldn't do it, he could still break these invisible stone stems. It's just that it would take more than an incense stick worth of time. The underworld crow ghost Rattan King liked the spirit essence chi inside the invisible stone stem seed the most. Even if it couldn't use it now, it could store it in its body. Once it advanced to become a starry sky grade 9 demon plant, it could use it. Others might not be able to find the existence of the invisible stone stems, but the underworld crow ghost Rattan King didn't feel any pressure. Therefore, as soon as Ning Cheng called it out, it didn't wait for Ning Cheng's instructions and stretched out its roots. Soon, the underworld crow ghost Rattan King's roots covered the entire crystal restriction. In just a few breaths, the underworld crow ghost Rattan King locked onto all the invisible stone stem seeds within the crystal restriction. The crystal restriction trembled and buzzed. Apparently, these invisible stone stems also had some instinctive intelligence and could feel the extreme danger. Ning Cheng didn't show any leniency and immediately threw out array flags. In just a dozen breaths, the spiritual aura around the crystal started to weaken. Absorb! Ning Cheng gave a shout, and the underworld crow ghost Rattan King started crazily absorbing the wood origin spirit essence chi inside the invisible stone stem seeds. The invisible stone stems didn't have much combat ability, and their biggest role was to support. Whether it was to support the humanoid puppet or to support the crystal restriction. However, support was their greatest ability. Now that Ning Cheng isolated the spirit essence chi underground with an array formation, the underworld crow ghost Rattan King crazily absorbed the essence chi inside the invisible stone stem seeds. In less than half an incense stick worth of time, the crystal restriction cracked open. After a few breaths, a kacha sound emerged, and the weird crystal restriction completely disappeared. The rich smell of divine grasses and the fragrance of Tao fruits mixed together, making people feel refreshed. From the beginning until Ning Cheng opened the crystal restriction, one could say that he didn't have to use the puppet technique at all. The trace of possibility left behind by the powerhouse who arranged the fantasy garden was a complete lie. He lied and wasted his time on studying the puppet technique. After an hour, even if he managed to study the puppet technique, it would all be in vain. Ning Cheng sighed. Sure enough, there was always a teacher in a group of 3. He only had the underworld crow ghost Rattan King to teach him a lesson at this time and even helped him a lot. Breaking the crystal restriction, Ning Cheng didn't think too much about it and directly threw out one array flag after another. He wanted to move the entire medicine garden away, and he didn't feel even a little bit embarrassed about it. In just a few minutes, Ning Cheng moved the entire medicine garden. With a kacha sound, he moved the entire medicine garden into the true spirit world. The medicine garden moved away, along with all the divine grasses and Tao fruits within the medicine garden. However, Ning Cheng felt dumbfounded. He didn't see the entrance to the 4th floor of the fantasy garden appear in front of him like he had imagined. Looking at the hourglass, which was now less than half an incense stick worth of time, Ning Cheng felt extremely anxious. Even if he found the entrance to the 4th floor of the fantasy garden, he most likely wouldn't have the time to refine pills to open the door. Ning Cheng didn't hold back his spiritual consciousness and blasted it out one after another. At this moment, he could see the powerful spiritual consciousness attack. After more than a dozen breaths, a concealment restriction appeared in the range of Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness. Ning Cheng didn't even think about it and threw out one array flag after another. Now that he couldn't find a way out, he wouldn't let go of any place that might lead him to the 4th floor of the fantasy garden. This concealment restriction wasn't powerful, and under Ning Cheng's array flags, it quickly revealed itself. This was an orchard. To be precise, it was a Tao orchard, because it was filled with Tao fruit trees. Ning Cheng rushed over and looked at the rows of Tao fruit trees in front of him in shock. He roughly glanced around and found that there were at least 50 or 60 of them. What was going on? There was no 4th floor, no 5th floor, and no 6th floor. After he broke the crystal restriction on the 3rd floor, so many Tao fruit trees appeared. Moreover, these Tao fruit trees ranged from Tao sculpting Tao fruit to Tao transformation Tao fruit. There were even more than a dozen of them, but Ning Cheng couldn't even identify them. Most likely, this was the essence of the fantasy garden, the real fantasy garden. Ning Cheng looked back at the hourglass and estimated that it didn't even have a quarter of an incense stick worth of time left. Not good, Ning Cheng instantly understood. These Tao fruit gardens were connected. Most likely, once the hourglass ended, he would be teleported out. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.